You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
Right. Welcome back to the Hello Sport Podcast. Home of unqualified opinion and unwavering bias. Monday, the 26th of April. Tuesday, the 26th of April. Shout out to Mondays. Public holiday. Tuesday, 26th of April. Day after Anzac Day. And yeah, it feels like a while since I've seen you, Edward, even though I'm pretty sure it hasn't been that long. I feel like a lot's happened.
Hasn't been that long. I saw you on Friday, but
Did I see you Friday?
yeah, we saw each other on Friday.
Fucking hell.
But the extra day's thrown you off.
It has thrown me off.
You're used to seeing me usually 5 days a week, with two days generally in the middle.
Yep.
It's been 3 now,
And that just has thrown
and
me
you've
through a
yearned
loop.
for me. You're yearning for your old mate,
That must be what it is.
but I am here.
You are.
So yearn no more, old friend.
Thank you. Yearn less.
Don't yearn at all.
No, don't. No need to yearn.
You need not yearn.
That's good to know.
Okay.
Um,
But it has been a long weekend.
it has been a long weekend, dude.
I like long weekends. I forget this every year, but then I'm reminded of it as it's happening. That April's fucking full of public holidays.
You could actually feasibly have half of April off every single year if you were smart.
I was
about
talking
it.
with mates yesterday at the pub, and they were like, and a lot of them in sales type roles, and they were saying April's a mongrel. You can't get anything done in April because everyone fucking goes away. School holidays as well. I love that about Australia, right? That we have January off because we've earned it.
Yep.
And then we'll come back for Feb, March, and then we're gonna have April off as well.
Yeah, April's like a fucking write-off. At least 50% of it.
Right off 50% of April.
But it's 50% of it like in the middle. So you basically fucking write off everything before and after it as well because it's in the middle.
Well, because the first week of April you could feasibly call late March,
Yeah.
and then the last week of April you could feasibly call early May. In which case you have written it off.
You've written the entire thing off. And you know what? Well done to April, because I think that April is probably a forgotten month just generally in the sense of like, you know, when the whips are cracking. February, it's kind of like the last throes of happiness, and it's also kind of like the start of the year officially.
I think there's a lot happening in Feb. Feb's a fucking
Feb's still
intense.
it's still summer. It's the first month of the year, but it's still summer and people get into their work. March, footy starts, so everyone's happy, footy's back. May is, you know, Origin, winter, all that jazz around the corner. April, no one even looks at April, when really we should all be looking at April.
Don't sleep on April, because April isn't sleeping. April's the hardest worker in the room in terms of not working.
Other than The Rock.
Like if you're going to be judged on not working,
April's pretty fucking good.
April stands up.
Well, it certainly stands up alongside your late Novembers, Decembers and Januaries.
Where does it sit against December for you?
Oh, it's nowhere near December.
Yeah.
In honesty, like December's fucking thanks for coming. Not doing it. Not doing it December.
It's got November about it.
Yes, it does have November about it. It's got late November about it. Because I think, you know what, dude? Everything basically in November and December is written off. Hey, you don't really care.
Well, the old saying is that once the Melbourne Cup has finished, it's all over. The year's done.
Yeah, silly season.
Thanks for coming.
Anywho, you and I played some golf. Was it Friday last week? Is that when I saw you?
We did.
Played some golf, got around, because as some of you may know, we are taking on Scope and Simi this Thursday in an Ambrose tournament where we're going to pound them into the earth.
Where are we playing?
Moore Park.
Okay.
Nice and central.
We had
Easy access.
we had a good round with your old man.
Yep,
He was
Papa
making me
Burns.
laugh.
Well, he was also way better than us.
Yeah.
Which
Well, he used to fucking play off 9.
I know.
Like, what do you mean?
But I just mean, like, you get old, you think you're going to, obviously he's not playing off 9, but like,
But you can see in the way he hits the ball, you go, oh, that guy's been off 9.
yeah, he's been off 9.
In a past life.
That one of his last shots where he hit it over those trees to land it like right next to the fucking flag. I was like,
But he called it before.
Yeah, he called it as well. I was like, this arsey bastard.
So watch me go over these trees, and he did.
Yeah, it was impressive.
And it just stopped.
Yeah.
Dead.
Now-
Maybe a foot from the hole.
You and I were practicing. I think we played okay. We had moments of brilliance, and we had plenty of moments that you would not categorise as brilliant.
Well, you'd class it as a couple of blokes who sort of hack about. You know what I mean?
I will say this, and I'm sorry to do it to you publicly, but my old man was right up in your ass about your club choice and your clubs generally. He's of the belief, and I share it. I share it with him that your clubs are too small.
Club.
Well, the club that you use every single fucking shot, which is your hybrid, is way too small.
Wasn't working for me, the hybrid the other day.
Not at all. Like, not working.
And I usually hit
it.
It's usually my number one club in the bag, thus me returning to the world many times.
But it's too small.
I understand that, Tom, but you're not listening. You're refusing to hear what I'm saying. I'm saying I usually hit it so sweetly.
Right.
Thus, I kept returning to it.
And at some point, my old man was literally like, "Can you just promise me that you won't use it for the next hole and you just use a different club?" And then he was like making him use Dad's hybrid, and then he was crunching it, and then we were like, "You have to put that fucking club away now, because it's just not working for you." And then he basically, that was when you actually started playing well. Your second wind when you fucked that club off. Now, the concern for me is, Dave, Tobler, punters and dribblers en masse, Edward, you specifically, is that when we take on Scope and Simi, I can't have you persevering with that piece of shit all day. You need to be able to...
You need to look.
You give it a go, but if it's not working for you, you put that thing away. I'll snap it otherwise.
We look. I don't know where the aggression's coming from. Because you're not exactly fucking Tiger Woods yourself, bro.
Right, but I certainly wasn't persevering with those clubs. Like that one club was particularly bad.
But
I'm closer to Tiger Woods as well. Let's be honest.
There's a couple of positives to come out of the day, Tom.
Yep.
Is that I did have a second win of note.
Yep.
My back is feeling free. I don't know what's happened, but it's come good over the weekend.
You're peaking at the right time.
Now I just need to maintain it.
Yep.
Because I was getting quite concerned the other day that if this...
As the day went on, shout out to East Lakes, the longest golf course in the known world.
Look, I would like to make a public service announcement, a PSA to the punter and the dribbler. Play East Lakes, but only if you have a card.
Yep.
If you don't, you're looking at 35 Ks.
Yeah,
on foot,
how many Ks? I was thinking that.
No, I reckon 35.
There were some par fives where it was like, I think that's the flag on the horizon. I'm not sure though.
But not even that. It's undulating. But even more than that, the distance between holes 1 and 2 on foot, no bullshit, 2 Ks. Not even joking. Took us fucking 45 minutes to get there.
Yeah, we had like a full weather system emerge.
Your old man barely made it.
I know, to hole 2. We were like, where is he? Where's he gone? He's almost 70. And I mean, good for him to get out there and have a walk. But by the 18th hole, we were all tired. I was looking at him. I'm like, are you going to make it, bro? He's like, fuck off. I'm fine. I'm like, well, okay. But I just want to check in on you because this has been a long day for us all. East Lake's the longest fucking course on earth.
I'm not playing on Thursday unless we have cards.
Well, we'll put that we'll send that to old Scope and just be like, hey, bro, part of our rider is that we need cards. I'm too Rider's
old,
a muso term. Sorry,
I'm too old for walking 18. I can walk 9.
Yeah.
18's too far.
We can do it. I think you can't just hop out of bed anymore and walk 18. You know what I mean? Like, you need to sort of condition yourself, which is why it was probably better that we did East Lakes last week, because now Moore Park will be a piece of piss if we have to walk it. But I assume that part of the YKTR budget is that they're going to get us cards.
I would be shocked if we don't have cards.
I'd be appalled.
I would be disgusted.
Appalled. Now, if they can't, then we'll have to buy our own cards because, truthfully, I don't think I can walk 18 again. It was really tough.
It was, dude, it was awful.
By the end of it as well.
It was
when you're
awful.
back, I kept asking him, I'm like, hey, like, does your back right? Like, no, it's fine. And I could tell he was being like stoic. No, it's okay, mate. Just a bit tight. And I'm like, are you in pain?
I wasn't in pain, but have you heard the saying stiff as a board?
Yeah. So
I wasn't in pain, but I was uncomfortable because I was stiff. was walking around like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Rigor mortis in the back.
Like if you were to walk around with your knees locked.
Yes.
You know that? If you would just walk around like that, that's what it felt like.
Yeah, no ability to bend the knees.
Yes. If you woke up one day and all ability to bend your knees had left you, that was my back after walking 18 on Friday.
Now, I
went home and I had a stiff tequila. The stiffest, just to free me up.
Did it free you up?
Yeah, it helped.
Oh, good.
Freed up the mind.
Yeah, that's what you want. We all did. We all had an experience on the course. And I mean, I haven't even spoken to my old man to see if he's comfortable with us telling this. I think I'm just going to tell it anyway because I don't think he did anything wrong.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
It was
definitely the highlight of the day.
It's one of my highlights on a golf
course. Yeah, same. So we were walking. Everyone else was on carts. It was huge, and
also just to pad this yarn a little bit, I went into the pro shop and said, "Can I have a cart?" And he said, "No, there are no carts. They're all out on the course." And then when we started playing, every group that went through us had a cart. I'm like, "Oh, they're all in the cart. Oh, they're all in the fucking course, are they?
Yeah,
they're already out there, are they?"
We were literally
fuck off, mate.
So we're walking because there's no carts available, and by maybe the third hole, we already had people up our ass with carts. So we was like, "Fuck it!" Like we didn't care. We were having a very lazy day. I was like, "Yeah, play through, all good." We were about the sixth hole. Some fellas came up behind us, let them play through. Then, as they were finishing, another cart group came through. We're like, "Fuck it, you guys play through as well." Then we teed up to hit our shots, and then like two 20-year-olds sort of quite quickly sort of hoon up and skid up alongside us as we're playing our shots, and just to sort of sitting there like that, whatever. There was nothing to suspect that what was about to unfold was going to unfold. We were hitting off the men's, Eddie?
The Blues,
The Blues. And, we hit some shots. Were they great? Some of them were, they weren't fantastic. Doesn't matter. As then we're getting ready to walk off to go find our balls, this guy who's parked next to us then speeds straight up to the ladies' tees, like in front of us, screeches on the brake and jumps out and starts teeing up. And we're like, what the fuck? That's weird. We keep walking. And as we're walking past, he goes, "Oi, I'm about to hit my shot." And we're like, "Huh?" He's like, "I'm hitting my shot." And Dad goes, "Why'd you be doing that?" And he goes, "Because you pushed in front of us." And he goes, "I beg your pardon?" And my old man...
originally he said, "It's my turn."
"Oh, yeah, it's my turn. It's my turn." "No, it's not." And he's like, "Yeah, it is." And he said, "How is it your turn?" And he's like, "Well, you pushed in front of us." And Dad's like, "Pushed in front?" My old man, day to day, relatively calm, but you don't want to be coming at him with any bullshit. You know what I mean? And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You guys pushed in front of us." He goes, "No, we fucking didn't." And he's like, "Well, I haven't seen your faces." And he goes, "You ever heard of letting people play through before, you fucking idiot?" And he's like, and then this kid just starts coming back at him with lip. And Dad's going, "We've let people play through, and now you wait for us to get through and have a shot." And this kid's being a fucking smart ass to Dad. Me and Eddie are like, "Oh, fuck, this guy's an idiot." And then at this stage, another cart has pulled up as well. So they're watching this thing unfold. And Dad's up in his face fucking going at him. And then he's trying to go back at Dad. And then realizing that he is an idiot, this kid, because he's wrong. And starts going, well, I'm sorry then, but fucking did it. And Dad's like, "You fucking ever heard of any etiquette on the golf course, you little shit?" And then walks up you cocky little shit or something, and then walks up onto the tee box where the guy's ball's mounted on a tee and just boots his ball into the bush. And then walks off, giving him shaking his finger at him, "You fucking dickhead." And we're just pushing our trolleys like, holy
shit. Oh my God.
And this kid was
learn some fucking etiquette, you little shit.
Yeah.
Fuck, it was good.
And this kid was just a prick from the jump for no reason. And we were like...
but by the end of it, he's going, "I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
As he got absolutely fucking eviscerated by Burmese.
Absolutely, you would never have seen a public evisceration.
I've never seen
So
anyone
good.
get.
His mate stood there and didn't say a single word.
No one said a
No
word.
one said a word. And then the group behind us were watching and they didn't say a single word. It was like, well, this guy's in the wrong here and he's just getting torched, like absolutely torched.
His whole narrative.
Bravado, but his whole swagger just like drained from his body.
It was the most brutal undressing I've ever seen in my life, bro.
And then what was funny was Dad started referring to him as, because then we had to play with this guy up our ass for the rest of the day because we were like, fuck it, you best believe we're not letting you play through, you little prick. And then Dad started referring to him as his nemesis, and it was breaking Dad's spirit every time his nemesis would see him hit a bad shot. So like for the rest of the day, Dad's like, fuck. my
In front of my nemesis.
In front of my nemesis. As he's like slicing balls and shit. And like it actually, he was killing it. And then he had like this period after the run-in with his nemesis where he started playing fucking awfully. And it was like him trying to come to terms with this nemesis in his head.
Yeah.
What about when his putts just fell off a cliff?
Oh,
His putting fell off a cliff and we're standing there talking shit to him and he's like, you fucking bastard.
it was good stuff. It was, so shout out to that lippy little
Shout
prick
out to the lippy little nemesis.
who, I don't know if he would have slept that night. Fuck, it was brutal.
Like, I don't know how you play the rest of the round with your mate.
He never got close again, did he?
He got close enough. There was one time where he'd stand and sort of watch, and we were just like, we almost made a point of taking our time. But how do you go on playing the rest of the round with your mate who's just seen you get absolutely beated?
And then he was basically almost like bowing at the end. Like, sorry, like, it was it was really beat as shit, and it was so good.
And just for the rest of the round, we just, like, one of us would just start chuckling and go, fuck, that was a dressing down. Like, oh, that was good.
It was special.
It was pure.
It was so special. It was
pure as the driven snow. And then you sent me a message later on that day going, fuck, that was good.
I couldn't get over it. I was in tears on the way home.
And then we got home. We got back to my place, Dad, and I'm like retelling the story to Steph and Steph's mum, and then Evie's listening, and then Evie's going like, "You get angry at boy," and Dad's now having to like, doesn't want like the little baby Evie to get too much of an idea about how much he ripped him apart. He's like, "Yeah, Daddy, Popsy just told him off. And then he behaved," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's sort of how it went. That's sort of how it went." Popsy.
He did behave.
Popsy torched a man.
Yeah, and the man behaved.
But that was great, and that was probably the highlight of the golf, honestly.
Well, yeah, I think so. We got a birdie. Oh, we missed the putt.
No, we didn't get a birdie. we had a shot at. We had a look at a birdie, and the birdie flew away.
It did. The birdie flew away, but we saw one.
But we did see one. What are they called when you're a bird watcher? There is a name for it. Is it Twitcher?
Isn't there a word? Piers Brosnan used it in one of the James Bonds.
Ornithologist.
When Halle Berry's coming out of the water. Halle Berry's coming out of the water.
Shout out to Halle Berry coming out of the water. Did we talk about that on a potty recently, or maybe on About Even? On About Even?
We talked about it last week. Well, see, I don't remember anything.
No, shock horror that Halle Berry's come up twice for being absolutely stunning. But that was good. That was golf. That was good golf.
It was good golf.
My weekend continued from there, Eddie, in earnest.
In earnest?
Saturday morning. Yes. Don't know what the date was, but
I don't think
it's not important. But I like to be able to just
23rd.
20th, sure. The Birminghams went to the Wiggles. Wiggles, bruh. Wiggles.
Where at?
Kudos Bank.
Fuck, so it was a big do.
It was a do of note. And we were going with a couple of Steph's mates as well. I had, truth be told, fully intended to maybe have a gummy before I went in to try and like just see what it just for a bit of a wig, mainly for a fucking yarn. But such has been the sleep deprivation at our house because Zoe's got teeth coming through. I was like, you know what, dude? Let's not complicate this. You barely slept. Let's just go to the Wiggles. I think that's enough. And I think in hindsight, that was a great decision by me. Really mature stuff. But Wiggles is a huge day.
Is it?
It's a lot, bro. It's a lot. There's something really lovely about it. There's a room full of parents dedicated to like their children's happiness, which is nice. But I will say this, Eddie, when I roll into the Wiggles, do you know what I expect?
I don't know what you expect.
I expect the Wiggles. I expect Anthony, Simon, Lockie, and Emma, who's just quit. The problem is...
I thought there was 2 girls.
No, there is now. That's what I'm getting to here. So Emma, who, I have no doubt, is probably the biggest wiggle of all time. Like, in terms of every single kid there who was dressed like a wiggle was dressed like her. We bought the tickets.
Boys and girls?
Yeah. Anyone who was in a Wiggles colour, it seemed, was in yellow.
It was in yellow, yep.
When we purchased the tickets, and by we, I mean Steph, we were under the understanding that we were going to be getting ourselves at least a dose of Emma Wiggle, who Evie's become very fond of and now does Emma Ballet.
We just got the Emma Ballet bar.
Emma quit.
When?
In between us buying the tickets and the show. And
it was like a while ago.
We bought the tickets a while ago.
Yeah.
Evie just, the whole thing, I can't wait to see Emma, can't wait to see Emma, can't wait to see Emma. And we're like, I wouldn't be super excited about that, Evie. I don't think she's going to be there. She's sick. But now they have like fucking 12 Wiggles. So they've got a new girl who's very impressive. She's like 16 and she's now the new yellow Wiggle. But they have 2 of every colour on stage, and now it just felt like...
I saw that in your video, and I wasn't sure what I was looking at.
What you were looking at, Eddie, was a bastardisation of what I came to know the Wiggles to be, which was the 4 horsemen up on stage, ripping and tearing, and banging out the hits. They also were like a fucking... They were like Bruce Springsteen coming to tour Australia, and it's like, hey... play Dancing in the Dark. And it's like, no, I'm going to play my new album. And everyone's like, well, no one wants to hear that.
It's so funny you bring that up because I was just about to say it'd be like Bruce Springsteen. Shout out to Bruce.
Shout out to Bruce. No,
I
not
went and saw him in
Bruce.
the Hunter Valley and I'm like, why aren't you playing any of the songs I know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about your 30th fucking studio album, bro.
Dude,
like,
they were road
sorry.
testing new material. And it's like, as the parents are sitting there like the kids know when it's a song they know, and when they don't know it, they just kind of chill. But when the parents are like, what the fuck's this song? Who is this? Who's Bok the hand puppet? Let Bok get big on his own terms, right? Put Bok content out there, and if Bok hits, then we'll get up for Bok. But don't just drop Bok content on me and expect me to like it. Bok being a gender-neutral hand puppet. Now, I got no issues with the gender-neutral hand puppet. The gender-neutral side, I got no issue with it. Although I would argue, why are we promoting that he's gender-neutral unless we're trying to push, like,
Why don't we just let Bok be Bok?
Let Bok be Bok. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On his own terms.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, on their own terms. But it was just this weird fucking hand puppet. Then there was a mermaid who came out and we're sitting there going, let's just fucking play our fruit salads and our hot potatoes and our fucking big red cars. Hits.
Why do you think we're here? We're here
hits.
for the fucking hits.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about your new stuff.
No, I don't care about it at all.
Like, what do you think I'm paying for? Do you know what I mean? Like, it does my fucking head in.
Yeah.
Like, you've made all your money off these songs, and that's what we're paying for. So fucking play them. I don't care for your new shit.
No.
If people like your new shit, it'd be big.
But you know what? Your new shit will get big on YouTube and fucking, let me hear about it on your albums. Let me hear the new shit on the albums and give it an opportunity to seep into my soul. Because it will if it's good, because they seep into your soul.
Well, soul seepers will seep into a soul, Tom.
But, doing the Bok, whatever the fuck that song was, or the Mermaid song where you're like, okay, this is a lull. Like, let's just keep the hits coming, please. So to that end, very disappointed.
I want to go back quickly, Tom, if I may, to unpack why there's now 2 of each wiggle. Why is that necessary? Seems like too much wiggle.
It's so much wiggle. It looks like the Wiggles from Wish a little bit, because it's like, well...
Wish Wiggles.
Wish Wiggles. I need this just to be your 4 Wiggles getting into their work. And the Wiggles have changed, right? It's not the OG. Anthony, the only OG there, which is fine. He's still doing his work. A little too much West Tigers rhetoric from him, but that's all right.
I can't believe he's still doing it.
He's very much now like, I stand on the side and I play the banjo.
But
that's essentially
I'm
it.
pretty sure he's also the one that writes all the songs. And because he's the OG member, he's like got all the credit and like
him and his
royalty
brother
stuff
started it, and his brother is the producer as well, I think. And then I think the original 3 who are no longer there still get paid. Like
they get
some royalties and shit. But him and his brother still running the show. He now, as an aging superstar, just sort of chills on the side a bit more. Still got it, though, and appreciate him. But then all the other ones, like the young, fucking dancing their asses off and shit. It just... The new Wiggles, right? So the ones that replaced...
Captain Feathersword there?
Captain was there. And
Dorothy?
It was great to see him. Dorothy was there. Great to see her. Wags the dog. Henry the Oct. Great to see all of the...
They're all still...
They're all still there, and then they try and slip a Bok or a fucking...
Haven't they got a cop?
They didn't bring the cop.
Oh, good.
They had Bok, and they had a mermaid. They had a tree that looked like he was on mushies. Shout out to Bathurst University Unibar. Just reminded me of that. Circa 2001. 10, 11, 12?
10 or 11.
Mushroom caps.
What a night that was.
Not us, but people who were at university there.
It was a green night. What was that night?
Yeah, it was the Paddy's Day.
Paddy's Day.
Yeah.
Lot.
One of the more intense.
I heard it was a lot to digest.
Yeah, I heard it was fucking psycho.
That's what people say. People say that night was a lot to digest.
Yeah, and that's why people had hit me up and they were like, oh, that looked like the Unibar in Bathurst circa 2012, 13. And I was like, oh, did it? That would have been a lot to digest. Anyway, Evie loved it, like had a good time, but I did find myself at the end going, can we bail early from this fucking thing? Like, what's the rules around sneaking your kids out of a Wiggles concert? And then Steph and I were like, you know what? Don't be shit parents.
Did Evie get dressed up?
She had her Emma fucking tutu on. So ballet shoes.
So why did Emma leave? What's the goss there, Dior?
Emma left to pursue her postgraduate studies. She's like studying some crazy sciencey doctor
Honestly,
thing.
she could go solo. Obviously, you can't be Emma Wiggle, but you could still be Emma and be fucking in yellow potentially. Maybe not yellow, but like she to me just seems so clearly the most high profile, like sought after, connected most with the young people Wiggle, or at least with young girls, but that's 50% of the fucking audience. And now she's not there. I'm like, sure, dude, you could go and... Because she's the only Wiggle who's had spin-off shit. Obviously still under the Wiggles banner, but Emma Ballet, which is this whole thing where it's just her doing ballet. And now that has just been ripped away from us. Ripped away from us. And there doesn't look like there's any ballet rhetoric in the Wiggles anymore. And you know what?
But can you feasibly just, run the old stuff and pretend like Emma's still kicking it?
You can do it at home.
Yes.
But you can't do it at the Wiggles concert.
No, I understand. But it doesn't sound like you'll be going back.
I won't be. And you know what else? And I feel like this is something I've inherited from my father, because he is like, he almost manifests having people that are annoying around him. You know what I mean? Like he manifests annoying people around him because he can't handle it at all, and he gets pissed off very easily with shit like that.
Yeah. Shout out to that guy at the golf course.
Shout out to the guy who got eviscerated at the golf course. But behind me, like all in front of me, I'm looking like kids are jumping up and having a great time, but they're all like, their parents are all like keeping them in check. Like if they're being fucking too crazy. Behind me, I had what would be like the dad behind me looked like a Brazilian backup dancer with this huge curly hair and like wearing like sweatbands on his arm and shit. Like looked like an early 2000s MTV backup dancer.
Yep.
And
I got an image.
Yeah, you've got an image. And then his kids were just fucking maniacs and booting the shit out of your chair and jumping around. And obviously, you have to let that be play on at a children's show. But it was very frustrating. And I was like, bro, you have to please. And like, if your kid's fucking being annoying to someone, you pull them in line and you go, hey, stop it. And you make them stop. Whereas this guy was like, just trying to talk to them. And I mean, that's fine. But you like make them stop and then tell them why you're making them stop. Don't just like, as they're doing it, be like, the man won't be appreciating that if you're booting the fuck out of his chair and slapping him on the back of the head. Like, just make him stop first and then let's explain to him why you're doing that. Before we move on any further, it's important for us to touch on what was probably the biggest part of the weekend. We almost missed it. But off the back of the golf and you doing your cat-cow poses was the Eddy golf memes. Because they were fucking brilliant.
You never quite know what's going to hit.
No.
In the Punters and Dribblers group on Facebook, if you're not in there, then...
What's going to catch fire?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
But the P's and the D's really took this one for a walk, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
And some of the material produced was right up there.
Exquisite.
The Call on Me video that was done
Cameron Kaler, I think, did that.
is probably my favourite piece of content ever to go into that
It
group.
was perfection.
That's how much I loved it.
Yeah, it was perfection. And we've had a few of these things over the lifetime of the P's and D's, like off the back of the potty, where things have taken off from a meme standpoint. Me shirtless after the weigh-in, I think was one of them. Or was it me hitting pads?
You shirtless after the Wayne, I think, was it.
And then was there one where they're like the missing Kempy?
Missing Kempy.
Missing Kempy for a while.
Where did Kempy go? Did he go on holidays?
Oh, it was he had 2 weeks off or whatever over Christmas, and we just kept ripping because that's what we do. We never stop. And then the handshake one, maybe did that, or was that just the video that got put up there?
No, that handshake thing. That I wanted that to take off, but it didn't.
There was also the video games and all the Danny Widler ones.
Oh, the Danny Widler memes caught fire.
Shout out to Danny. He's blocked us on Twitter.
Oh yeah, Danny's blocked us on Twitter.
Oh really?
Yeah,
He didn't like the Danny memes.
I don't think he liked the memes.
But did he block us after that or recently?
I wouldn't have a clue. I just was trying to check a story he wrote on the weekend.
Well, he seems to disagree with our take that,
He squeezes himself into every photo.
That's right.
I like Danny, whatever. I mean, it's just weird that I've never tweeted at him in the history of the show. But
we still love you, Danny, mate.
We still love you, Danny. It's no hard feelings. So, there's been a few things that have caught fire, and this one I think has probably been the most fuego we've had on any particular thing, and it was fucking glorious. All starting from you just trying to release the back.
Just trying to release the back.
Shout out to whoever it was Declan Barry, I think, who took the screenshots and just put them up there and just went, have at it. Here you go, punters and dribblers, do your work or something like that.
Is that what he said?
Yeah. And then everyone just went nuts.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Brilliant.
Love it.
Anyway, shout out to you, P's and D's.
Shout out to you.
Keep bloody going. Undefeated. Not probably. I apologise for even saying probably. The funniest community on the internet, especially dribbler community, who also punt. Should we talk some sport?
Let's do it.
Eddie, what if I was to tell you that there is a place, a magical place, online, on the internet, not the magical place, but a magical place that exists on the internet, where if you were, if you had some issues of a medical persuasion that you were needing to be addressed, that you would be able to go to this place called pilot.com.au and be linked up with a doctor who you can talk to privately and you don't have to go into, because sometimes you can't be fucked to go to a doctor. And if you would use the promo code Dribblers, you're going to get your first consult with that doctor for free. And that is all prescription-based remedies delivered to your door discreetly. What would you say?
I'd say that place sounds so magical, so wondrous, so desirable, so applicable, so for me that I'd collapse in a heap.
Yep.
But you're telling me this place is real?
It is real. And if you were to collapse in a heap and there was a prescription-based remedy for that, then they'd be able to help you with that as well.
Wow. So you're saying if I go to pilot.com.au/hello sport and use the promo code Dribblers, I'm going to get my first doctor's consult for free? Gee, Tom, that really is magic.
Thanks, Pilot. Now, when we talk rugby league on the show, Eddie, I don't know if you've heard this before, but we do it for our good friends at KO, the home of rugby league. Funny story, this rugby league now no longer viewable on any other network in the world. Just KO.
Deal. But KO is the number one place watching rugby league football. It's as simple as that. Do you want all 8 games every round, ad-free, during play?
Uninterrupted. Uninterrupted. Well, you're only getting that at KO, punters, dribblers. They support us. You support them. But it's not even obviously support them because they support us. But
they support you.
But I just don't get, we say it, I don't get how you don't have it. In 2022, I don't get. If it's a financial thing, it's not fucking that expensive. Don't be stupid. Don't be cheap.
Be better.
Just get KO, dude.
Be better.
Be smart about it.
Be better. Be smarter. Be bolder. Be braver. Improve yourself.
Telling me you're getting Stan Sport for the rugby? What the fuck are we talking about?
Put it this way. You know what, Tom? I would buy a KO subscription before I bought anything else.
Even like food for my kids.
Food, undies,
Clothing, shelter.
Roof over my head.
It's kind of the definition of addiction is spending money on things before yourself, like before fitting your own face mask. You know what I mean? It's like I'm getting KO.
Yeah, I'd buy KO before I put a face mask on.
It's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. KO is the bottom level of the pyramid. It's
the bottom. You don't want to be the top.
It's the bottom or the top. It's the one that's the foundation, though. Yeah. All else built on.
Well, it's the important one.
Yeah.
So if that's the top,
then that's where KO is.
That's what it is.
If it's the bottom, then that's where KO is.
So shout out to KO. Thank you very much. Rugby league.
Now listen, it's basically been like 6 months since this happened, and I feel silly even going back to it this far. Like I just don't get the point. But we'll just touch on it quickly. Manly did lose to the Sharks, but I think, truthfully, and this isn't about being a biased Manly fan, if you're Craig Fitzgibbon or Des in the sheds at full time, I think that you're happier if you're Des. Now, let me explain why. Manly, in the first half, got fisted, right? It was a Talakai-induced fisting. He fisted the club. He fisted our fans. He fisted everyone there that night. Talakai fisted everyone.
I was there, and I can confirm that I indeed was fisted by Talakai.
Now, no one fisted harder than Morgan Harper, and unfortunately for Morgan, that's just the nature of professional sports. Sometimes you're in for a fisting, and you never know when that is. But we were without Martin Tapau, Josh Aloiai, Tommy Turbo, Josh Schuster. Hasn't been there all year, but we're still without him. You know, I'll remove Schuster from there. We've got Tapau.
Why?
I'm just going to remove him for the sake.
He wasn't on the field.
Well, I know, but I'm just, because this is how unbiased I'm being. I'm going to remove Schuster. We were without Kepi, Tapau, Aloiai, and Turbo. And there might be someone else I'm missing. But those four players, especially Aloiai, for me, well, Turbo obviously, but like Aloiai as a forward, has been the best fucking front row we've had all year and fucked our go forward. Now, we got fisted first half, granted. Again, shout out to Morgan Harper, who I feel sorry for. Tough night at the office, brah. Hooked at halftime fame.
Yeah, getting hooked at halftime's never an easy pill to digest.
It's not.
In fact, you can't digest it.
You can't digest it. It's non-digestible. You basically have to swallow it, and then it passes through you, doesn't digest, and you have to shit that pill out.
That's right.
Potentially eat it again if you miss more tackles. We then have to make the tough call, and we hook Harps, and we bring in Stubby or Canner, depending on how you pronounce his last name, and they don't score another try for the rest of the game. We actually score 22 points. They score a penalty. We literally win the second half. Almost the greatest comeback of all time.
It was almost the greatest comeback of all time. Now, I was out at Shark Park on Thursday night because I love the club, obviously. My brother's a Shark supporter, so I was like, I'll go out and watch it with you. First cab off the rank. Shark Park is a shithole, and I mean that in the most loving way, right? Like, that makes it charming.
Yes.
I like going to a rugby league ground. Yes.
A rugby league shithole is
I like going to a rugby league shithole.
Yeah.
I think it's good for the fucking code. I think it's good for the game.
Well, I think it's like more rugby league. Like, you go take me to ANZ Stadium, you're like, well, this isn't a shithole, but it is a shithole. I need like a rustic shithole.
Well, it needs to be a charming shithole.
Yeah.
Full of charm.
Yeah.
And
not like a Meriton apartment shithole.
No, exactly right. Exactly right. Exactly right. Now, they are making some improvements, but they weren't completed, right? So I got a real sense for what it's about, and it's dribbly down there, bruh. It's dribbly.
Correct me if I'm wrong. In fact, mainly just answer it as a question, but is it like constantly windy there? Is it like in the middle of a wind tunnel? Was it high winds?
I don't recall it being windy. It was
I thought the first half was like fucking, we were against the wind and they were just kicking the crap out of it.
Oh,
yeah, I remember them saying
it was like particularly windy.
Maybe it was where I was standing. I don't remember it being windy. I don't know. That's a weird one. But it was raining, obviously. No, it was windy. It was windy. But it wasn't like windy. Do you know what I mean?
You're
Not
right.
so windy where it's like, oh, it's windy.
Okay.
Like, I didn't remark as to how windy it was.
Okay, they did on the
and
commentary.
you would remark generally.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If it's really windy,
you must have been in a place where you weren't affected by the wind, because I'm pretty sure the wind was like
howling.
It was like howling. We also lost Paseka and Walker during the game, so we basically won that thing. And Craig Davey.
But my point is this. It was 32-0 at halftime, and I was taking my licks, you know, as I always do. Mm-hmm. But There was a moment in then that second half when it was 32-22 and the boys were rolling where there was a feeling in that ground that greatness was around the corner. And maybe a couple of calls went against us and we were robbed of that moment.
Yeah, we were robbed of it.
But outside of that, let's be honest, Morgan Harper, who goes away and gets better and works on his game and works on himself, if he isn't forced to mark one of the greatest rugby league handfuls I can recall in Talakai, do they score a try?
They don't score a try.
I don't think they do.
Did they score any other tries other than Talakai? I think that was it. Or at least Talakai induced tries.
So Talakai 2, Mulatalo 2, which he set up, Will Kennedy, which was off the Talakai kick, and then Teague Wilton, which was because
Talakai was basically holding the defenders.
Exactly, yeah.
So if you take away those tries, which I will because in the second half none was scored.
Take them away, Ed.
The score is 22-2.
To Manly.
To Manly.
Now, what happens then if you...
And that's a fact.
Can I just ask, Eddie, one more thing? If you were to add Tom Trebojevic in...
Who's worth 40 points.
So that's now, we're looking at 62-2.
62-2. Plus Josh Alloway, and I think you get to 70-2. That's what I think.
Josh worth 10, just through the meters he gets through and the work he gets through.
Well, because he eats meters, Tom.
Yeah, he does.
He's a meter
So
eater.
we basically win that thing 72-2. That's a 70-point victory.
And I don't think anything that we've said is like...
Wildly
wildly out of because we have got a perfect test case.
You know when you do
32
maths,
points.
Show your work. Show how you've worked out
how'd
the
you
result.
work this out?
How'd you get to the result? We've showed you.
Well, it was 32-0 in the first half with Morgan Harper on the field and Talakai had just been a handful. Then we replace him with Kandakola or
Stubby Cooler.
And they don't score a try. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand the math? That's the math.
That's how the math works.
And then Tommy Turbo, who I pointed out literally in an entire season last year, I showed you every week the math. He's worth 40 points. So that's automatically 62-2, right?
Yeah.
Are you getting this? Are you with me, Dave? Because it looks like you're not with me.
Yeah, well, it looks like he's upset that he's upset.
Hey, you don't like... I know you're upset about it, brah, but the math is the math, okay? Math is math. Math is math.
Math is math.
Now, Josh Alloway, I don't have proof he's worth 10 points, but on vibe and vibe alone, I think he's worth 10. I vibed 40 points for Turbo. It was confirmed with math.
With any sort of working out of any sums, you can equate at least up to 10 points based on vibe.
You could look. It's like prime numbers and shit. You know what I mean? And rounding up,
Vibe
you can vibe. There is vibe. There's always vibe in working out in numbers. It's like in maths, they assume infinity. They don't know what infinity means, but they
you've got to make some
in.
assumptions, right? Yeah. There's no absolute truths, but if you can show the working out, which you can, it's full marks. Manly won that game 72-2.
Full marks.
72-2.
Full marks for us.
Karl Marx.
Now I'm with you.
Shut up, Lefty.
But if we can just spend a moment on the Sharks, and not even on the Sharks, but Talakai specifically, he's a thing, isn't he?
Is he a Origin sniff?
Yes.
Now,
yes, he 100%.
He's getting thrown around a lot.
Well, because he can play back row and he can play in the middle, and he can be a rugby league handful in the centres. So he has to be spoken about. Even I heard him saying that he could even just be on the bench as as a fucking bench option. Like you're picking him and you're going, what's he being picked as? Essentially,
well, he's
essentially a utility, but they'd still have a utility. So they'd still pick a Nico or a Pappenhausen.
Well, I think you'd be playing him as a ripper and tearer off the bench.
I think that's what it is. He's just a ripper and tearer of note.
Yeah, put the RT on the back.
Yeah.
Well, he's playing as RT.
Yeah, who's being selected at RT? So Sophia Talakai. Sorry about his first name.
We were talking Origin yesterday because, it's April and that's what you do at the footy. You talk Origin, especially if your team's not playing.
Yep.
You sort of tune out and talk Origin. Queensland is so fucked, I think, this year. I think they are so fucked again.
Yeah.
We are so hot.
Yep.
We were going through that side yesterday and it's a mother. It's a mother. And then you got Nathan Cleary pulling the strings. I'm like, we can't lose.
There's no one really in... that you would pick ahead of any New South Wales player that I can think of.
Who's your hooker?
Munster. That'd be it.
Our hooker, Damien Cook.
And you wouldn't pick Harry Grant ahead of him?
No.
Don't rate him.
Wouldn't be picking Harry Grant ahead of the Australian hooker. No, sorry, David.
I think you'll find by the end of this year, Harry Grant will be the
Okay,
Australian
mate.
You ever heard of incumbency, bruh? Probably not, because you just flop and change on the win.
He doesn't get it.
And so you wouldn't pick Cherry Evans over Cleary?
Not in Origin, I wouldn't.
There you go.
Not in Origin.
Not dedicated to a team then.
In Origin, I am dedicated to my team, dedicated to my state. When it comes to Origin, Cherry Evans and us ain't boys.
Cherry Evans can beat it when it comes to Origin. He knows that.
He knows
gets
that.
it.
He gets it.
He understands
He can beat it.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Cleary's a 7, bruh. And it's as simple as that. And then you've got fucking Tommy Turbo playing Rover again, just destroying motherfuckers.
You got a rover and a ripper and a tearer. We've created positions in New South Wales. You guys don't even fucking know. You're back there in like black and white TV. Where you don't full 8K.
You don't get it going. We've got Kalen Ponga. We've got Harry Grant. Like, yeah, righto, bro.
Cool.
That's fine.
Well done.
You know what? That's cute.
That's cute. Really cute.
Really cute. But you don't get Origin because you've never been to Queensland and you support
You've
Queensland.
never even
so you don't
been
get
there.
It. You've never even fucking stepped foot up there, you little shit. You don't know what you're talking about.
I couldn't point it out on the map. I tried the other day.
No, exactly.
Don't know where it is.
Exactly. So look, point is this. Talakai of ripping the fucking arseholes out of people fame is up for consideration in our side. Do you know what I mean? He's got a walk-up start. We'll think about it. Because that's how stacked we are.
Yeah, that's how stacked we are. We'll consider it. Whereas he'd be captain of Queensland.
He'd play every position.
Yeah, he would. He'd be captain.
He'd be their 7, mate.
Yeah. But instead, he's just going to be on the bench warming up his fists, getting ready to stick him in Queensland buttholes. Yeah. Is what we think. Anyway. We might not even choose him.
He might not even
pick him.
He might not even pick him because, you know,
we might leave him in just the NRL to fist clubs.
That's right. Because we're so stacked. Did I remind you that?
We're stacked as fuck.
Because we're stacked. But he is a handful. I heard someone say somewhere, Tom, that they're probably going to have to start putting fucking back rowers on him to mark him because he's too much
of a handful.
Yeah.
And then, you saw that the Titans were like, having a back rower at the centre's kind of cool. Look at Talakai. Let's do it with Dave Fafita. Fuck, we just got beaten by the Cowboys. It's like, it's not that simple. You can't just throw someone out there and hope that it's going to work. Talakai actually, I think, was a centre before he made it, like in his junior career.
So he was a centre, then went to the back row, then a centre again.
Centre went to he started the year in the middle. He was a front rower. Start of the season.
Did he start as a front rower?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Dude, I got to tell you, right, like, I got to run an eye over him.
Do your own research on that, but...
Got to run an eye over him when he was, on my side of the field.
Yep.
He is so fucking thick. Like, he's double everyone else on the field in terms of raw thickness.
Right. That's not surprising to me, but it's good to know that, that he's as thick as one would hope in the flesh.
Yes, if not thicker.
Thicker than you'd even hope for.
I think thicker. Think about how thick you think he is and double it.
Okay.
And that's how thick he is.
He's 2 times thicker than you could think.
Yes. Your assumptions are wrong.
2 times thicker than you could conceive.
Yes, which is a simple rugby league metric. It's times 2. Or to the power of, well, not to the power of 2, just times 2.
What's to the power of 2?
That's squared.
That's squared.
Which is to how many times?
Times by itself. By whatever number it is.
So as opposed to...
I'm too far gone from maths to know what it means anymore, you know what I mean?
No. So that's thickness times thickness. If you square it, it's thickness times the thickness, which is probably what it is.
That's probably more thickness squared.
It is actually as I'm fleshing this out. Talakai is thickness squared.
Right, thickness to the power of thickness.
Yes. That's how you get Talakai.
That's how you get Talakai. You square thickness, and this is what
you times thickness by itself.
Yes.
So thickness squared, thickness to the power of thickness. What else took my mind, my eye over the weekend?
Episode title, thickness squared.
Thickness squared. Now, I got to the game yesterday, Tom. I'm going to jump forward fucking 5 days, whatever it is.
We're skipping every other game of rugby league.
Because we can go back.
Okay, we can.
We don't have to do
It's our show, isn't it? We can.
We don't have to, what? I'm going to go in order for you dickheads at home. I don't think so.
No, we can do what we want here.
No way, bruh. I got out to the game yesterday, Tom, and the Anzac Day game's a ripper. It's a special one on the calendar. But, like the last post and the bugle and all, it's fucking good stuff.
Oh, it's a real vibe.
It's a vibe. Got the Australian flag there, the New Zealand flag there. It's just a coming together of 2 great nations, 2 powerful sporting nations. It was lovely stuff.
Yeah.
It just hairs up on the fucking arm stuff, bruh. Sends chills down the spine. It's fucking powerful. I can report, pleasingly, no dickheads yelled out.
Well, that's good. And
thank the heavens. Now, that ties nicely into that guy getting fucking beaten to within an inch of his life.
it was one of the great Anzac Day scenes, to be honest. There's many great things about the weekend that you see over the course of the weekend, and there's Anzac Day imagery, I would call it. But having some pissed Queenslander, no surprise that he's a Queenslander, no surprise that he's a Broncos fan, piece of shit, disrespecting the diggers in the moment of silence, to then have a dude in a Bulldogs jersey tucked in, mind you, bash the shit out of you in the crowd and have everyone cheer. And like, he basically brought people together, that guy who bashed him. Like,
people was just like, yep, play on. He got as many clean shots away than I've probably ever seen in a scuffle.
Yeah, in a crowd scuffle. They were some of the cleanest shots of all time. Now, we have, I think, been shaped again by Instagram because we put that video up and then they took it down because it's violence. But for some reason, like Channel 9 Instagram can have it up there.
Well,
I'm assuming that would be a news page.
Well, it also may be that we've had a couple of run-ins in the past with our friends at Instagram.
Yes.
They don't seem to vibe us.
No, they don't.
Which is disappointing.
But now if you search Hello Sport in like in your like personal account, we don't come up.
No, we've been shaped. Yeah. And it's pretty clear because the numbers...
shadow banned or whatever the fuck
numbers tell us so.
Yes.
Disappointing, not the point. That bloke got absolutely fisted to within an inch of his life.
But like the first one, crack, hat comes off, he stumbles, comes back up, crack again, and then the guy just gets him in, uppercut City, and then I think throwing a couple of fucking knees at him.
Yeah, and you know what?
Knees up Mother Brown. Shout out to anyone who knows that song.
I wouldn't have been pissed off if he got a couple more in there. You know what I mean? You have got to be
a real Queenslander to do that.
You have got to be one of the biggest pieces of shit to yell out during the moment of silence. Yeah. Like, how fucking disrespectful do you have to be?
I think you have to be really dumb as well.
20 seconds, it's not even a minute. Is 20 seconds too much for you to handle, you fat fuck? Like,
I think it's dumb though as well, right? Like, just dumb. Some people are just dumb. And I don't mean dumb like, oh, I didn't know that was offensive. Just dumb thinking like, oh, this will be funny. And drunk. You pair stupidity and inebriation and you are going to get people like him. Gross stupidity and clearly like, inappropriate levels of drinking.
Well, he knows about it now, though. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, he does.
Like, and the weight of his decision is now it's written on his face.
It seems though as well, what I like, and I hope, but it seems like everyone from like a police side of things is like, no, that's play on. Like he got.
No one was charged.
No one was charged.
No.
Beautiful.
Because it's funny. I don't know where I heard this. Maybe I can't recall, but someone was saying that if you used to yell out in the moment of silence like back in the 80s, you got like properly bashed. And then as it happened, that weekend, someone yells out, gets properly bashed.
I think it's fair.
It is fair. It's play on. It's 100% play on. Like, if you're going to roll the dice like that, bruh, then I'm sorry, but there will be consequences. Yep. Not always, but there was on that occasion.
There was. Swift justice.
Swift justice.
Swift fucking NRL fan, Bulldogs fan justice.
He had a bit about him, that Doggies fan, didn't he? Like, he was a fucking... That cunt had been in some scuffles, I can tell you right now.
He could throw him, dude.
Fucking up, but he just shapes up, boom.
There, bang, bang. It must have felt good. It looked like he was looking for someone to feed, but he was like, I'll only do it if I have to.
But he's also... He was a tactician because he sought out the high ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's eyes up.
Well, was he not always on the high ground? Or did he climb up?
Well, I don't know. All I know is that he had the high ground.
Shout out to that guy. Shout out to him.
Anyway, back to the Dragons-Roosters game. There is nothing sweeter. Well, there are some things sweeter, but it was fucking sweet. Than going to the footy with mostly Chooks fans. Most of them don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they don't
like
get
a few
the
of them were yelling out ball and shit during the game, and I'm like,
yeah,
oh my God.
That's embarrassing.
Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. You know who you are. And to see them so cocky, so confident, so on themselves.
Ollie Arch,
Richie Casey, Tom Cameron, you're all frauds. And to watch the world crumble around them as the Dragons of who the fuck's in your side fame get the sweet Anzac Day W was just...
The Anzac Day Bickies?
The Bickies, dude. They got the Anzac Bickies and nothing could be sweeter.
No, that video you put up was divine of just Notch and Kaz sitting there just very dejected.
Yeah.
Very dejected. But almost though, like, I think that they're faking it in the sense that they don't actually really get rugby league anyway. So they're just like, this is how I should act when my team loses.
That makes it more pathetic,
Yeah.
which is the best part.
Yeah. They don't get rugby league to start with.
Well, exactly. So it's them pretending to like rugby league and us pretending to care. So, it was good stuff. It was good to be out there. Great atmosphere, plenty of dribblers. Shout out to the lot of you. I've forgotten everyone's names. And congratulations to the Dragons. Ben Hunt had a good game. He's a footballer. Zach Lomax is a footballer.
He is a footballer, that kid.
He is a footballer. He's another sniff for New South Wales centres. Like, I mean, we're just fucking stacked.
We're stacked, dude.
Stacked to the gills.
Crichton got 3 tries for the Penny Panthers.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like he's fucking in and around.
Brad Parker, not a man to be ignored.
Well, Brad
made his tackles on the weekend.
Brad made his tackles. Brad always makes his tackles. I don't think he's missed a tackle in his life.
He hasn't missed a tackle.
Now
they call him Mr. Tackle because he hasn't ever missed one.
Yeah, do you get it? Play on words. He hasn't missed a tackle. He's Mr. Tackle.
Mr. Tackle.
So shout out to Brad Parker, who is a sniff. We have it on good authority. Are we friends with Freddie? Yeah. Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
What else did I see over the weekend? Oh, that's right.
Can you get just the results up on that screen there, Dave, so we can remember?
Newcastle Knights, 39-2, was it?
Oh, shit.
Is that 5 on a trot or 6?
6.
6 L's on the trot.
And not a try scored. Not a try scored. Can we just go through the scorelines? There's some blowouts.
There was.
Broncos... We'll just go. Broncos pounding the Dogs. I thought the Dogs were all right early, and then the Broncos just ran away.
I think they were up 14-0, weren't they?
Yeah, the Dogs were
winning at half
good.
time. I'm like, holy shit, my line's looking good here.
But the Dogs actually aren't as bad, even though they died in the arse. They're not. They're a better team than they were last year. It's like a spoon side.
Well, they're just looking at. They need to play 80 minutes of football time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not 60, not 50, not 40.
They need to play a full 80. And until they learn how to do that, it's going to be tough for them.
It's going to be real tough.
The Cowboys are like I have no confidence in them. They won't be a top 8. They won't. I don't see them being in the top 8 at all. But they'll beat up on some shit sides.
No, I think they could be in the top 8.
Nah,
dude,
I don't rate them.
Like the bottom of the 8 is pretty it's pretty gross down there.
Yeah,
dude.
well, where's the ladder? Actually, get us the ladder, Dave.
But if you assume that, if you go,
hold on, let's look at it. Panthers, Storm, Eels, Sharks, Cowboys, Roosters, Manly, Rabbits.
Yeah. Then look at that.
Broncos, Dragons, Warriors, Titans, Tigers, Knights, Raiders, Bulldogs. Fuck, Michael Pride's going to owe us some money. You've got Raiders and Knights coming second and third last.
It's all poo.
It is all poo down there.
So, can I see the Cowboys finishing 7th or 8th?
You're actually true. Looking at all those teams down there, it's like the Cowboys will get into the 8 by virtue of just not being as shit as the other teams.
That's right. Yeah. That's exactly it. They'll get in based on the fact that everyone else is shit. That's how they'll get in.
The Sharks did. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but they finished 8th with a completely even record and 0 points difference. They'd won as many games, they'd lost and scored as many.
Mate, teams have got in before with the losing records.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought was it the Titans or was that the Sharks last year?
I think a team got in last year with a losing record, or maybe it was the year before.
I thought it was like Sharks Titans and the winner, one had to win, one had to lose. Penrith though are just looking unfucking beatable.
They are looking fucking unbelievable. But the Knights are like Dane Gagai in tears.
Oh, was he?
Did you see that? Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. I'm just like, what
happened? What happened though? I don't get it because they were good at the start of the year. And I mean, obviously it's the first 2 rounds and they don't make any fucking sense. But they just don't seem like they're as bad as they are. They shouldn't be as bad as they are.
No, they shouldn't. They're their pack is good. You've got a good pack.
Yeah.
You've got Kalen Ponga. The halves go all right. What am I missing? Dane Gagai is a footballer. Bradman Best's a footballer. What? They can't even score a fucking try. They took the points. 39-2 the score. Absolutely pounded into
So
the
they got a
earth.
drop goal as well, the Eels. That's even more disrespectful.
Was that Mitch Moses
Just a
being
39.
a cheeky little prick?
Yeah.
There you go. He doesn't mind a cheeky little field goal,
No, he
does
doesn't. Match of the round, though, was definitely Tigers beating Rabbitohs. That was a hell of a fucking rugby league game. I tipped the Tigers, so you're welcome. But, oh, wow, Tom, you're going to try and celebrate that after they won the week before? Yes, I am. It was an impressive win.
Now, Tigers W into Norfoluma 2+ tries.
2 weeks
hit
in a
again.
row. It hit again. I wonder what it would have
Do
been
you go
paying.
3? Is that something that happens in threes?
Who
or
are
have
the
they got
Tigers playing next week?
They've got the Dragons.
Oh, yeah, you do. This is a DMC Bowl, bro. You go Norfoluma 2+ into the Tigers every day of the week.
You're not getting $56
No,
anymore,
you're not.
unfortunately.
No, you're not.
But good to see the Tigers winning again. Like, don't win too much, but
Well,
like,
not against Manly in 2 weeks' time.
I like to see them. I like to see them get a couple of W's here and there. It's good.
Yeah, it's nice. Good for
It's
you guys.
nice.
Really cute.
But I tell you what, Tom, more interesting than all of that, I think, is there's a real fucking fight on for who's going to win the spoon this year, I reckon. Because there's a lot of sides playing some really shit football.
Well, least of all or most of all, the Warriors getting humped 70-10. Like, were there anyone crying after that game? There better have been.
Warriors, no good. Bulldogs,
But
no
the Warriors,
good.
dude, 70 points is fucked.
The Bulldogs have scored 70 points all season. And we just scored 70 in a match.
It was fucking embarrassing last night.
and it
They
was-
got ripped apart.
They got humped.
It was 16-10 at halftime as well. Like, that was one half of footy.
Well,
We
that's
put on
actually, is that a
54
record
points.
for a second half of footy? Probably not, but it'd be close,
Yeah.
right?
How many did Xavier Coates get in the end?
He got 4. And
He had a night.
He scored 3 in like 6 minutes.
He's a thoroughbred,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, he's good.
That one where he just chased down the winger, like with the 10 meters fucking starter.
Yeah.
Well,
But
and then
fast.
that to
the
me was
grubber
the
in
winger not
corner.
having a crack there, though.
Yeah,
Like, that
kinda
was
looked
almost
like
like
it.
lazy. I was like, how the fuck did you let that happen?
Not enough belief.
No. Dude, I mean, obviously I'm not breaking any news here, but Ryan Pappenhausen is such a fucking weapon. He is just so good. And of course the Tigers let him go. Even though the Tigers are good now, of course they let him go. Like, fuck me, he's good. And the Storm can have Nelson or Sofa Solomona put up a bomb.
Dude, that was so good. Sure, like,
It was a good
a
kick.
call must have gone out, no fullback, and he just goes, give it here, bruh, and just puts it up.
Well, I think it was just fifth tackle accidentally found to the wrong
Oh,
guy.
do you
It's
reckon?
like in the Storm, when it comes to the Storm, it's like everyone.
But it was
can kick.
pinned. It was inch perfect.
It was a great kick.
It was a great kick.
You even see the, like, usually, like, when Jai Arrow went for that drop goal for the Rabbitohs, it was like, oh, that's the most disgusting rugby league kick I've seen in years. Nelson was like, perfect fucking, technique, dropping it onto his foot, like this humongous leg booting it in the air.
Bro, it was AFL. Even Pap's catch was like a full-on mark.
Yeah,
He
it
took
was.
above his
It
head.
was real
Yeah.
Melbourne vibes, the whole thing.
They probably do a little bit with the AFL boys.
They would
You'd
100%.
hope so, yeah.
But Pappenhausen's a footballer. Cameron Manster had a fucking night out. He just takes the piss. No one knows what he's doing.
No.
It's like, what's this kid doing? And then, he's gone.
He'd be the only Queenslander that would make the New South Wales side.
Yeah.
Dare I say.
But, on his day, Jerome Luard better. So,
Yeah, way better.
way better. On his day.
On his day, way better. But look, I don't know if there's anything else. Yeah, no, just that Manly's really good and sucked into the fucking Roosters.
Yeah,
and
so
to
by
the
your
Rabbitohs.
maths, Manly actually scored more points than Melbourne this week because they won 72-2.
Yeah, we scored 2 more points.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I thought you would have picked up on that at the
Yeah,
start.
72.
Yeah.
So take you half an hour to get.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Manly on a win that wasn't recorded as a win, but was a win in
Was
the
a
hearts
win.
and minds of the fans,
Yep.
and in the hearts and minds of the most important people in the situation, which is the players.
Yep.
I think they come out of that game with a lot of belief, which is what I
Shitloads
like
of
to
belief.
see.
Chockers full of belief. Couple of things, sports-related things. Funnily enough, sports podcast. Before
Things that aren't rugby league.
things that aren't rugby league, things that want to be rugby league, but they're not rugby league.
That's a throwback.
That's a throwback.
Shout
for
out to you if you
OGs
get it.
out there. Very few will, but there are a few of you who will. So shout out to you guys.
Pat yourself on the back if you know what we're talking
If you know
about.
what we're talking about. Your Johnny Ingates of the world, your Jorge all days.
They know.
They get it.
They get it.
Don't
Does Dave get it?
think so.
I can kind of understand it, but I don't get
No,
it.
he doesn't.
No, he doesn't get
No,
it.
he doesn't get it. Georgie Kambosos has sworn off of chonging until after the fight. How do you feel about that?
I like it. That's what I want to see out of my undisputed champion.
Does that mean you can't beat off as well? I would assume so, right? Otherwise, because it's not about the act of sex, it's about the act of spilling seed, one would assume.
I don't know. I think Dave's going to need to look that up for us. Wouldn't, Tom, there be a world where you would begin to bulge?
Or just get hard at the side of, like a gentle breeze?
I think you would overflow.
Well, so what?
Potentially.
So it's purely about sex. About
Like, would you start having wet dreams?
I've never had one in my life, so I wouldn't know.
Haven't you?
No.
You've never had one?
Nope. I know that sounds weird. I've just never had one.
You're right.
So I wouldn't know.
Someone said they had one the other day. I can't remember who that was.
What?
Yeah.
Like that you know?
Yeah, that I know. Who was that? Fuck, anyway, shout out to you. Mate, they're generally reserved for like when you're going through puberty, right?
Yeah, well, like I used to.
I was sort of under the understanding, and this could be complete bullshit, and it might just be based on vibe and vibe alone, that if you don't crank it and you don't release, then the body will release for you.
But isn't that funny that, like, just to give an insight into men, like for women, that we can get so horny that we just cum ourselves in our sleep. You know what I mean? Like, just to give you an idea of like what we're dealing with on like the horny scale, that we will just get so overwhelmed with sexual like just horniness that our body's like, fuck, we got to do something about this, and just make you blow a load in your sleep. Like, there's no way we don't want to do this to him in public when he's in the middle of like a business meeting. So we're going to wait until all his defenses are down and just make him pop off.
Yeah.
And you wake up going, Jesus Christ. I mean, I wonder for people who are like, who find themselves in like quite significant sexual droughts. I can only say that thankfully that has not been my experience, mainly because Steph and I guess you would assume the reason.
No, but I don't think
I've never been in like a year-long fucking sex drought.
But I don't think it would be a sex drought.
So it's more because you can still beat off.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
more that if you're just trying to hold it all in.
If you're trying to hold the fort.
But I wonder though whether if you're trying
to dam your urges.
But like, I'm wondering if you're just starved of sex, though. Obviously, sure, you can go and, incognito tab to your heart's content. But do you think that there would be even Q search that, Dave, is there an increase in wet dreams from just people from not sexing, or is it all about load? Is it all about?
I think it's about load management.
Right.
That would be my guess.
Women can have wet dreams as well.
Really?
Obviously, they don't always have to be as wet, but they can have nocturnal orgasms while they're sleeping.
There you go.
Nocturnal orgasm. There you go.
There you go. You learn something new every day.
A little nocturnal gas.
Now, what have you found?
So high testosterone levels are associated with more frequent wet dreams.
There you go.
There is also a link
testosterone.
between an increased frequency and a lack of sexual activity, such as masturbation or orgasm.
Okay. Do you think?
So
How
makes
common
sense.
are they in people over the age of 25, for example? Even 20?
I mean, it definitely does say it's mostly during puberty, but I feel like I don't think it's something they're measuring too much.
Well, I don't. I think they should be.
Yeah, they really should be.
Who's out there talking about the wet dreams they're having as an adult?
Well, you'd be in some.
What
sort
are
of
we
study,
paying for?
wouldn't you?
Where's my tax
Where
money
are the tax
going?
dollars going to? Fucking.
If they're not going to researching to wet dreams, then what the fuck are we paying for? Shave off a couple of cents.
Vaccine mandates, Eddie.
Yeah, mate.
It says sleep orgasms do happen more infrequently as you get older because, unlike during puberty, your hormone levels aren't out of control.
Right.
So you're just spiking all over the place, and when you spike, you nut yourself.
You nut yourself.
Right. Now,
Because that doesn't mean I don't have sex dreams sometimes, right? But I certainly don't have.
there's a difference, Tom.
There is a difference between sex dreams and. But. Answer
Put it
me
this way, you
Answer
wake
me
up-
this. Wet dreams, do you just wake up going, oh, geez, I've come myself? Or do you wake up going, was having a nice dream and I also jizzed?
But yeah, the
So
latter.
usually you're waking up after having a horny dream.
and you
you
are
jizzed.
yeah.
Wow. You can bring yourself to completion just purely through thinking about it, essentially.
Yeah. Through the mind.
Through the mind. Powerful, powerful thing.
Powerful, powerful stuff. Back to George.
Yes. The ferocious one.
The ferocious one. Look, the fight's not that far away. So if he's sworn off everything now, I think you could probably get there.
Have you found anything here, as he said?
From the article in his interview, he doesn't mention masturbation. He just says he's not going to have sex, and he makes some comment that he's already got 3 kids, so it'll do him some good.
Yeah, I don't think he's whacking off, though, either. I think otherwise, because it's all about load, right? Keeping yourself fucking...
What does it do to your testosterone levels if you restrain?
Yeah, does it actually help? Is there physical
Or is this
benefit?
an old fighter's fucking
Wives' tale?
Wives' tale, and it's all bullshit, and he shouldn't waste his time. Have you heard those yarns about Mike Tyson?
He'd
and the
have sex.
groupies?
Is it like he'd have sex like before the fight in the change rooms and shit?
So he wouldn't go out there and kill the guy, he reckons.
I mean, that's certainly one way to spin a yarn in terms of going like, oh, I've got to have sex right now before the fight. I don't want to kill him, quick.
But when Mike says it, you sort of believe him. You're like, yeah.
Speaking of Mike, how about that guy that he beat the shit out of on an airplane?
What a fuck.
I love that. I hope he's in any trouble. Can you check that out? Because the guy...
No, the guy's suing
Yeah, I
him.
think the guy is. I feel like I
No.
saw it.
Yes. Mate.
See, the world is fucked up, man. Like, the guy was being an absolute piece of shit.
You shouldn't be able to bait someone into
let alone
suing them.
Let
Do you know
alone a
what I mean?
goddamn pit bull like Mike Tyson. Like, you know what you're doing. And he's filming it and playing up for the cameras.
And
Fuck, I hope it goes bad.
And the
for
guy
him.
says, the lawyer of the guy says, Mike Tyson should have recognised how big of a fan this guy was. And I'm like, if this guy was such a fan,
why is he being
Mike
such an
asked him to
arsehole?
leave him alone, why would he keep going? Like,
Being a
that doesn't
fan of
make any
someone
sense.
does not give you carte blanche to treat them however you want. Oh, I'm a fan, so I can just be a fucking prick to him.
Even though, but what I'm saying is, if you are a proper fan and he asks you
To fuck off.
then you would, if you're a fan.
Yeah. Can you
But
find
you're
us
not a
anything on
fan.
that, Dave?
Yeah, so he's being sued. There's some quotes here from the lawyer who said, our client is a big Mike Tyson fan. When Tyson boarded the plane, he became overly excited. At their first interaction, it was cordial. But at a certain point, Mr. Tyson clearly became agitated by an overly excited fan and began to strike him in an excessive manner. The situation could have been avoided by simply contacting the flight attendant. And our client denies throwing a water bottle prior to being struck by Mike Tyson.
Fucking lawyers, mate.
Yeah.
They just
And this
come out
fucking
with
this
some
piece of
bullshit.
shit trying to make money out of Tyson, like just, I mean,
Like, you get your notoriety, dickhead. Now
yeah,
piss
fuck off. Like,
You don't have to now sue the.
he also wasn't that badly fucked up.
Mike went easy on him.
He had a bit of blood like coming out.
Oh,
Like,
just a bit of claret. Bit of Tyson induced claret. Play on.
to be honest, and I would never do it because I'm not a disrespectful asshole like that guy. But
But you like punching him.
no, I mean, it'd be kind of like nice to have been bashed by Mike Tyson in that sense, right? Like it's not like even a claim to fame where I wouldn't want to be filmed by it, but like, you know, oh yeah, I would have loved to have faced a Warney fucking leggy. I would have liked to have taken a hanger. I would have liked to have fucking, you know, had Joey throw a fucking no-looking cutout ball to me and score in the corner, whatever. Right? Like to, you know, have run off Cliffy and Beaver. Brady Stewart, like to throw Brady a flick pass. Like to bloody ride on Thorpe's back as he's coming down the straight.
Imagine riding Thorpe's back in that 4x100
Just clinging onto him as he's
against
doing
Gary
tumble
Hall.
turns and
Just
shit.
fucking like you just cling on to him.
Yeah.
You just hold him tight, and
Yeah.
you just imagine the feeling of going that quick through
And then,
water.
like, as he's like coming up to a tumble turn, you just take a deep breath and you roll with him, and then you guys are back off, right? We'd all love to have had those experiences. Well, one of them would be to get fed by Mike Tyson, I think. But this guy's now wanting to
depends on
sue him.
the, you know, I wouldn't want to be like
Not like
fucking-
that guy.
No,
I wouldn't want to be that guy.
no. Well, I just mean I wouldn't want Mike to go like proper Mike on me.
I
'cause
wouldn't want
would
to
be
get
dead.
well. I never want to get knocked out or killed, but I wouldn't mind like what that guy had happened to him.
Sure, I'm with you. I understand what you're saying. Back to George.
Yes.
Have you found the information that we need, David?
Which information?
Does holding onto your nut.
Yeah, no, so they're basically, I'm on some website which talks a bit about No Nut November and about like if it's a good thing. Have you ever heard of this?
I've heard of No Nut November.
No Nut November.
You haven't
Yeah,
heard of
so
it?
they're like, don't come during November.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Some sort of like, is it for charity? If it's for charity, I get it.
I
Like
don't- maybe
Movember,
it-
or is it?
I think it's just a meme.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a mate, right? That
Yeah.
makes a lot more sense.
Like
than
people
it actually
claim to
being a
like do it
movement.
and stuff and like
'Cause that'd be a weird movement.
yeah. But basically it says people claim that There's one small study that found men's testosterone spiked after abstaining from ejaculation for a week. However, there's also studies that indicate that testosterone is elevated by masturbation. So,
Basically, no answers.
yeah.
So basically, George, he's vibing this thing out.
Yep.
And Vibe's telling him,
Don't
in no
do it.
uncertain terms,
Don't come.
Damn that load, bruh.
Yeah.
And unleash it on Haney.
I wonder whether as soon as he finishes, he drops to his knees and just.
I think he nips back in the dressing room and gets into it. That's what I reckon.
Gets into the showers
with
and
all
just-
his belts on.
Yes.
Just drenched in belts and nut.
Yeah. Yep. Drenched in belts and nut is how we see that going. So
That's what we see happening on June 5th, 6th,
like that.
7th.
Shout out,
5th,
and while we're
5th.
on Biffs, shout out to Tyson Pedro, back in the UFC after 3 years out with injury and fucking knocks a guy out first round. Love to see it. He's also one of the owners of Drink West with Ty and Nathan Cleary of Can't Sing fame. But yeah, that was cool to see. Fuck the guy up. Leg kicks. Guy fell down, just bang, knocked him out. Very horny.
Also good to see Tyson Fury get another W. I would be disappointed if he retires because he's a lot of fun.
I don't think he will.
Did you read his comments though? How he said that he promised his wife that after the third fight he'd retire, but then he felt like he owed it to the British people, his fans, to fight one more time.
They
in the UK.
they brought fucking Francis Ngannou into the ring after the fight.
But that's not like, I'm talking about another boxing fight.
Yeah, but they're
as
gonna-
opposed to like a
Dude,
fucking exhibition, which is
they're
basically what those things
yeah,
are.
but they're well, it is and it isn't. They're going to be apparently fighting hybrid rules of boxing and MMA,
Oh, that seems ridiculous.
or it's going to be boxing with MMA gloves.
Oh, well, then Ngannou's in big trouble.
Well, Ngannou is in big trouble.
He's in huge trouble.
Yeah.
That's frightening for Ngannou.
Well, that was always going to be the case.
Mike
right?
Tyson Fury fucking with those gloves on? Oh, my God. He'll knock him out.
You would think so.
That's outrageous. It couldn't be hybrid MMA rules because fucking Ngannou would kill Tyson.
Yeah,
Fury.
but I think the hybrid being the gloves, that might
Right.
be the only thing. But that's why I'm like, well, he's not done.
But again, it's a bit exhibitionist.
Oh, definitely. Well, it's not like boxing. It's not a full boxing fight, but it'd be cool. I don't care as long as it happens. Just want to see these fucking fights happen. It's just interesting. But, you know, we'll see what happens. But it was, I mean, Dillian White, who he beat, was like, there was never any other outcome in that fight. Like, he was winning that. Is that the second time they fought? I don't know. But, like, there was just no other outcome for that fight. Fury's so much better than Dillian White. Like,
It's not even close. It's a little disappointing that he never fought Joshua if he has retired.
yeah, I know. Well,
But,
he's like,
but AJ's not at his level anyway.
no, but they're like, Anthony Joshua's had a lot of opportunities to do it. That's what they argue. Usyk, obviously, they're over in
He just keeps
Ukraine
losing.
defending his country. Now, just before we move on to the dribbles, of which we're hearing there are lots, apparently the king is moving to Sid,
The king.
Kyrgios.
I want to sit down with him and have a yarn.
So do
Real
I.
bad.
Yeah.
Real bad.
Well, if he's moving to Sid, it'll be a lot easier, but I don't know. Does he do podcasts?
Is he coming? Well, he's got his own podcast. I don't know if that's still going, but he at least did it for a little bit.
Yeah. I don't think they do it regularly, which is a great sign for a podcast when you do it every 12th week. It's a great way to build it up.
Well, the king works on his own hours, his own time frame.
Yeah, he does.
Know? And if he feels like doing one, he will. I mean, 12 weeks to him could be his own week, you know what I mean?
Well, in fairness, when you are the king, you don't really need consistency to get your pod out there, right? Or to build the audience. You just go, I'm the king, here's an episode, bang.
But he's also like, and I can understand why, he would be sitting back going, everything I've got is because I was inconsistent. You know?
He's consistently inconsistent.
I'm consistently inconsistent. My performances are inconsistent. My training is inconsistent. My verbal tirade is probably the only thing consistent in my life.
And that's maybe why I'm doing so well.
You know? So I
That's
respect
fair.
that.
Anyway,
Is he moving for love, Tom?
I don't know if he's moving for love, but I know he's been looking at props around the eastern suburbs, Eddie. So, I mean, we might even just bump into him doing sand runs on Bondi Beach, you know?
Love that.
According to the articles in late February, he was contemplating moving to Sydney to be closer to his girlfriend.
There you go.
There you go. He's moving for love.
Love that.
He's got a big heart. He's a bit of a puppy dog underneath.
He
Kyrgios.
is. Well, often that's how it goes, right? The inside, you're actually really soft, sweet, and delicate, but you need this hard exterior to protect the softness inside.
That's right.
A hard outer
Like
shell.
a skull to the brain, Tom.
Yes, or like a Cadbury cream egg.
or a caramello koala.
Yes. Exactly. He's a caramello koala.
Shout out to caramello koalas.
They call me caramello koala. Whilst we're on even tangentially Bondi, I went to Raw Bar yesterday, which is a sushi joint there.
I'm aware.
And, I mean, I always go, or at least I've been plenty of times, but ever since shout out to the bird living in our roof. Ever since Zoe was born, Steph and I have been meaning to go, and we haven't been able to just because fucking conflicts, schedules. And yesterday we're like, you know what, fucking let's go to Raw Bar. And you know what we did? We went down there, we perched up outside, left Evie with the fucking family, and Zoe slept in the pram, and we fucking put a hurtin' on some sushi and a hurtin' on their spicy Tommy's margaritas in the sun. And I just sat there going, fucking oath, this is living. Now, is that just an aside for the punter and the dribbler just to know that I gorged on fucking raw fish and margs yesterday? Yeah, that's it. That's all. I just wanted you to know.
Did you get some miso eggplant?
No, didn't. Ooh. I got the, we got the, I do love the miso eggplant, but no, we were just going for more of your real sushi shit. But we did get some agadashi tofu as well.
Love my agadashi tofu. Love my agadashi.
My mouth's watering just thinking about it again.
I could drink that agadashi
juice
in a cup.
Yeah, 100%. 100%, dude.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you could fucking drink. I reckon you could live off that.
Kingfish carpaccio, thanks for coming. Just two assorted sashimi sets. Yeah, we went back for seconds.
Did you get raw? Did you get spicy tuna?
Spicy tuna signature roll? Yeah, we did. Did we also get the spicy tuna tempura roll? Yeah, we did.
I think that when it comes to the raw fish, tuna's my favorite.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Tuna's best in class.
I think tuna's best in class.
It is. Like, salmon turns up every single day and gets into its work.
Salmon's the blue-collar worker of the raw fish on assortment, right? It goes in there and it does the tough stuff.
Yes.
It's almost the nut trucker.
It is the nut trucker. I'd say that your kingfish is a bit more of your, hipster.
It's
delightful and I love it.
Yeah.
But it's a bit more boutique-y. You know what I mean? Well,
it's a bit craft beer.
Yeah, it's a craft beer of the raw fish. And then you've got tuna where you're coming in here and you're like, this is primo tier 1, melt in your mouth stuff.
Although kingfish, I would say, it's sort of hard to class kingfish because it does a lot of its own work. So it's like sort of Harry Styles with One Direction, goes out and does its own thing a lot of the time.
Yeah. It's its own, man.
Like, you go to restaurants, plenty of restaurants, not sushi restaurants, just restaurants generally. And most of the time there's a kingfish ceviche on the menu. But
outside of the sushi realm.
Yes, but there's no other raw fish on the menu.
Yes.
It'll just be kingfish. So it does some solo stuff.
It's solo work. It's probably a greater solo performer than the other ones. But you can get some raw tuna, dude.
But you don't see it.
No, you don't. You only see it in the sushi context.
That's exactly right, and that's what I'm saying. But tuna is Freddie Mercury. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. Tuna's Freddie Merc.
It just shows up and goes, yo, I'm the best.
Yeah.
I'm the best front man of all time.
Of all time. And then, salmon, obviously. Salmon gets around a bit, but it certainly
plays its basis.
It plays its role, but it's certainly like the rhythm section.
It's like a session musician.
Exactly.
Just goes out and works.
Really good though. Probably you'd argue one of the greatest guitarists in the world, but just not in a good band. You know, they're never the front man, never never winning Grammys, but deserves a Grammy. For turning up.
Makes the tough carries.
Yeah.
So shout out to Salmon. Shout out to Raw Bar. Raw Bar's fucking
Raw Bar.
good.
So if you're ever in Bondi, punters,
don't go down there if you've got no money though. Like if you're like,
well, as in you're not.
If you're living by the scent of an oily rag, sushi on Stanley's for you.
Which is my main sushi. Sushi on Stanley Street, Darlinghurst. That is the greatest sushi place in Sydney, IMO, and it's phenomenally priced. But if you are taking the miso out for a little bit of a special occasion,
if you want to wine a diner,
Raw Bar in Bondi,
outside,
Town Margs outside.
Yep. That's how it's done. That's how it's done.
But you will get fisted financially.
But you know what? As the fisting's happening, you're going, I'm kind of liking this.
Well, you just go, I think you have to go and be like, okay, I'm preparing to get fisted here. Like, this is what it is. This is a fisting en route, but enjoy the fisting.
Yeah. If you tense up, it's not gonna be enjoyable.
No.
But if you relax and go with the flow.
Yeah. Allow the aromas to ease the tautness of your
Yes.
bum hole.
Release the tautness.
Release the tautness, like amyl.
Exactly. There's no plate. Yeah, bring your amyl.
Well, you either bring your own amyl or just allow the aromas to act like amyl and just
So the scent, the aroma of the raw fish, coupled with
mixed
the
with the
spicy
salt,
tummies,
the ocean salt water, and the sun,
and a bit of vitamin
everything.
D. That's
vitamin
the
D,
amyl.
margarita, your butthole just loosen, and then you don't care about the price.
And then when they
anymore.
bring a bill over for considerable monies, you don't care.
more than you can afford.
Doesn't matter.
It's all right.
Doesn't matter. You go. That's fine.
It's all right. My arsehole's loose as a goose.
On that note,
On that note, we should dribble. Because that wasn't.
Tom, Eddy, Dior, Mr. Tobler, welcome to the podcast, mate. Nil Nova Castrian here. Bear with me. Just a couple of stats I'm going to read out to you. So we got the Eels, Parramatta Eels. They beat the Melbourne Storm early in the year. Tonight, Tigers, they beat the Parramatta Eels tonight. So that's what I'm saying. I've got the Eels beat the Storm, Tigers beat the Eels. The Newcastle Knights, they beat the Tigers. So that technically makes the Newcastle Knights new premiership favourites. We will win the 2022 Telstra Premiership. Pepsi Max soon. Cheers, boys.
Great to hear from Neil. So, and look, he is trying to employ a bit of rugby league math there. I don't know that he's got his sums correct. He was trying to show his working out, but I don't feel like it made sense. And this was obviously sent in before they got fucking humped by the Eels.
Neil, so that was really dribbly.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say. That was particularly fucking dribbly.
Look, he's heard our rugby league math yarn from 2021.
We can't all
Be
do the sums.
mathematicians.
We can't all be great. Like, I didn't just wake up one day and fucking go and start crunching numbers.
You didn't wake up a mathematician.
No, I didn't.
You rose to prominence.
I rose to prominence. There's a lot of unseen work that goes into being brilliant with numbers, Tom. And they don't see the hard yards. They don't see the grafting. They don't see the early mornings, the late nights.
Yep.
They don't see what it takes. Nilso's got it wrong on this occasion. His math doesn't work out.
But rarely does Neil So's maths work out. You know what I mean?
I don't think his maths ever worked out.
No, I don't think it has.
So I'm not shocked that his math didn't work out on this occasion. Newcastle obviously get humped 39-2. They don't know how to score rugby league points.
Tries. Well, points, but tries specifically.
Tries specifically.
They can kick a penalty, which is good.
I'll ask you this, Tom. Has a team ever won the comp without scoring tries?
No.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
No.
I could be wrong.
I don't think you are, though. Like, yeah, of course you could be, but I don't think you are.
No, I don't think so. So, look, Neil, so maybe just focus on trying not to win another spoon.
Yes, I'd be keeping real eyes on the prize, which in this case is spoons.
Because no one's forgotten about the fact that you went 3 in a row. 3 Peter spoons. How
3
pathetic.
Peter. Has anyone ever done that before? Or is that
Maybe the Magpies back in the day.
they don't exist anymore? So no one.
You know,
No one.
probably have to go all the way back to the Annandale Dales, Tom.
The Dales might have done it.
The Dales probably
might
did
have
it.
done it.
Yeah.
But basically, it's just nuts. Anyway, I think it's probably a good time to move on.
Tom, Eddy, Tobler, and especially Dior, I'd just like to say happy 20th of the 4th or in America.
Is that it? Is he gone?
That was it.
Oh, my God.
Don't know what he was doing there.
I half believe that was just Dave himself roasting on up and assuming that's what he was doing.
Well, we don't know for sure.
We can't be sure that he was punching
Oh, really?
cones, but I tell you what for me was the giveaway, and I've never done it so I wouldn't know, but this is what the giveaway for me would be, is that when it sounded like the billy had been punched, he goes, "Ooh." It's that like noise that you give off when and I say when because I wouldn't know, but what I know to be true, when you're like trying to just come to terms with the amount of smoke you've just inhaled, and just after you punched it. That was a punch of note, I think. It sounded like he really roasted something there.
Yeah.
Shout out to that guy.
Good on you, mate.
They're calling it the worst regular season right-hand side defensive performance of all time.
Good judges aren't.
Yeah, good judges aren't. Bad judges
Might.
Yeah, bad judges might.
But good judges aren't. So I'm not too concerned.
No.
Look, refer to my earlier monologue about how Manly, basically won the game. So
Is it a monologue when two of us are talking about it? What is it when two people talk about it?
A dialogue, I believe.
I was going to say two-a-log.
I was going to say duologue. Two-a-log. Yeah, look.
A two-a-log.
Fuck that guy who's a bad judge.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. On we go.
But, licks.
Up, Cronulla! The name of the shot is true. Shot forever. Go out to play with our fish. Now the time to see good football. Goes the Sharks. Hey, up the Sharks! Hey, your head.
To me, Eddie, it's funny, right? Like they're getting all uppity and licking us. We won 72-2.
I know. That's what is crazy to me. It's they're handing out faux licks.
Yeah, we fucking pumped them. That might have been the greatest win in the club's career, the club's history.
Career history. Same thing.
Yeah.
Point stands. Score was 72-2. So on your bike.
Yeah.
Dom, Eddy, Dior, Thomas, Tobby Tobler. This one's a good one. Sharks forever. Pounded Manly into the earth.
Yuck.
Okay.
Tommy Tobler, you loser. Take my licks.
Okay.
You know who it is.
Oh, that's disgusting. Who the fuck's the Birkenstock dribbler?
How do you know his voice?
Because he's clearly he's obviously in Camp Tobler to some degree.
I've crossed paths with the Birkenstock dribbler previously.
Okay, there you go. I mean,
he was the one he called up after, must have been last year when you ripped Birkenstocks to shreds.
Yes.
And he called up defending them.
Oh, okay, right.
Podcast after.
Yeah, right. I stand by my comments on Birkenstock.
I can remember the Birkenstock chat.
Yeah, same.
And I am going to take you at your word that there was conversation had around it because I can't remember it.
No, but we stand by our comments on Birkenstocks. And fuck that guy. But we are taking our licks. The sound of those licks was hard to listen to. The sound of it was hard.
Well, licks are never easy to take.
No, they're not. They're not.
And they shouldn't be.
But sometimes they're easier to take than they are to listen to, I would say. That's what I learnt today.
If you got off on the sound of that bloke licking, then you need to go see someone.
Yeah, you need to get your head read, respectfully.
Yeah, that was foul.
Tom, Eddy, I'm just forecasting your next podcast quote. Yeah, we won the second half, but no, we won the second half. Well, fucking two halves. You got to win two halves, mate.
He's actually incorrect. We just think we won the whole game.
No, again, go back and listen to the fucking opening 40 minutes.
We won the game.
On rugby league, we won the game.
Not the second half. We won the game.
We won the whole match, 72-2. That's what we're saying.
And we showed you our maths.
Dude, we got full marks. I got a fucking sticker and a stamp and shit. I probably won an award in assembly for that match.
Yeah, got a gobstopper.
Gobstopper?
Well, then you're given a treat as well. You get like a sticker. You get like a fucking thing.
We weren't given lollies.
They're
You
just
weren't given
handing out
lollies?
They're handing out loose gobstoppers.
Nah,
Yes.
I don't remember getting. We used to get like
Devo did.
achievement awards and shit.
Yeah, we'd get
Yeah.
like in class, you get like a gold sticker, you'd get a fucking this, and then you'd like get a gobstopper in class.
Yeah, we'd get like a Freddo or something that was individually
Yeah,
wrapped, so
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
like just loose lollies sitting in a drawer.
Well, I don't think it's like being pulled out of the teacher's fucking back pocket, thankfully. But it was like we had a gobstopper machine. You twist the thing, and
So more like a gumball than a gobstopper.
well, no, more like a gumball machine that houses gobstoppers.
Right. Okay.
Not big fucking.
I'm with you now. Yeah.
Not like cricket ball gobstoppers, like just a small
Do you reckon that was the?
choking hazard
Do you
gobstopper.
reckon that was the source of your sugar problems?
Oh, mate, my sugar problems came long before that. Long before that. I've been pounding sugar since I was a pup. Anyway. I can't even remember what that dribble was.
Neither. Doesn't. I don't think it matters. Clearly. Oh, 2 halves.
Shut up. Shaki.
I'd like it if Cronulla fans did that in the crowd. Dun. Like, that'd actually be a good sort of Viking clap-esque thing.
Did you see Penrith doing the Viking clap?
I did.
I loved
and the
every
Raiders
second
got
of it.
so cut.
It's like you stole it. Like
You've
it's,
only been doing it for like 3 years.
I know, but it's not. It wasn't even your thing.
That's what I mean, though.
You
You've only
saw
been doing
someone else
it for 3
doing
years.
it. Like
But now, like, obviously the crowd, like, I haven't paid too much attention, but people are like, that's really poor form from the fucking Penrith fans. Like,
no, it's not. It's hilarious.
It's hilarious, and that's what shit talking is all about. It's the equivalent of you guys calling up and licking us right now. Raiders need to take their licks, and that's been getting Viking clapped into the earth by the opposition fans.
As you're getting humped,
As you're getting humped,
get like when they use your fun gimmicky little thing against you as you're getting humped. That's funny.
that's funny.
Like you miss. You don't. Can you take a joke or
Yeah,
not?
take it. Take a joke.
That's your
Take
version.
licks.
You got licked. You got licked.
Why should they have to put up with you Viking clapping if we can't do it back to you when you're getting licked?
But you should have to.
Yeah,
That's
you
part
should.
of it.
Yeah. Okay, everyone should be Viking clapping the Raiders now.
100%. If you're humping the Raiders, you should start Viking
Viking
clapping
clap.
them because it's hilarious.
And it'll just become like, it'll just be so good.
It'll be
They're
so
getting
good and it'll
Viking
become a
clap-
thing.
Yeah, Viking clap the Raiders, and then they're going to like stop Viking clapping because everyone else is Viking clapping them. And then it'll just become, when you play the Raiders, you Viking clap them.
As you hump them.
As you hump
But you've got to be humping them.
Yeah, if you're losing, then I wouldn't encourage it.
Well, it's just a bit lame,
Yeah.
you know? That will be, that'd be so good. I hope that happens. I hope that happens. Because they're not going to win another game this year.
No,
so there's
they're
plenty of
done.
opportunities.
You'll be able to do it. There'll be an opportunity this weekend. I don't know who they're playing, but you can clap them.
Pay
Best
out,
believe.
pay out Michael Pride.
Yeah, pay up.
Just give us the full grand and
Let's move
move on with your life. Couldn't have picked the two worst sides to support.
No. He's an
Like,
idiot.
feeding you.
Absolute idiot.
Have they won one game each? Or 2 games each, rather?
I think they've had one game each.
Raiders have won 2 games.
Okay.
Yeah, and Knights have won 2 games.
And Knights have won 2
There
games.
you go. 2 games each.
Pathetic.
Losers. And we've beaten both of them. Anyway, let's move on.
Tom and Eddy and Tom, long time listener, second time dribbler. Hope you boys are doing well. Love the show, love the additions, love the show. Just some deep thoughts this evening, and thinking about our boy Brad Parker and a previous, I'd say, failed campaign to get the man a blue tick on Instagram. Let me to think, boys. You guys are way too big now not to have the blue tick. I've seen you take down Apple. I've seen you take down KO. You know, maybe get the Lord of the Stars busy on it, mate. But you guys need to attack Instagram. Hashtag give the boys the tick. Yeah. Anyway, best of luck. Take care.
I thank you to that dribbler for, just basically calling out Instagram for showing us some goddamn respect. I don't know, firstly, how to get a blue tick. Secondly, does it change our life in any way from like a...
I'd like it. Look, I would only get a blue tick if my life improved.
Like from an aesthetic standpoint, would we get a T-shirt made with a blue tick on it and Hello Sport? Yeah, we would. we'd release blue tick T-shirts. And is that like a gloating thing? Yeah, it would be. But I don't know how to do it, and I don't know if I've got the energy to like get into it with Instagram to try and get a blue tick. And does it change my life, Dave?
And would it help?
Anything.
Like, would it help our relationship with Instagram?
Yeah, like would they shame
they
us?
don't like us.
Yeah, but I think once you've got a blue tick, like I don't know if they're more lenient or they don't just like.
Or is it easier just to like follow shit up with them?
Yeah, it's that. I think they care about you because you're of note. Whether if you're a regular pleb, they don't care about.
So if we get a blue tick, we're in the eyes of Instagram, podcasters of note. Is that what you're telling me?
I'd say so.
And then we would be able
Not
to
just
raise
podcasters of note, users of note.
and we'd be able to raise concerns, being like, why does everyone else get to use a video except us?
Why do we get it taken down?
Why do you fucking?
Why
did you stop us going live for ages because of hate speech?
Why is POMS
like we're
considered
going to hold
hate
some
speech?
fucking rally?
Why is the word POMS considered hate speech? I don't get it. POMS call themselves POMS, don't they? I don't know. Maybe they don't. But it's not hate speech. Okay, yeah, sure. How do I get a blue tick though? You know? How do I do that? Because that's the next issue that I can't be fucked to look at. Maybe we give that to Dave. Although Dave will probably just get us taken down somehow.
You might be too left for the job.
Yeah, you might be a little left. And then Eddie's too right, and I'm in the centre. So you could say I'm in the Goldilocks zone, but I'm not going to do it. So I don't know what to do.
Well, I think it'd be a little overwhelming for you.
Oh, fuck yeah, it would. It'd be too much for me to handle. I'm not that.
That leaves one.
That leaves only one. We've got one left. Who is it?
Who would that be?
Who the fuck
could that
out of the
be?
4 people in here would that be left over? Is that Chockies over there?
It's Chocky Dax.
Chockies.
Chockies.
Toby.
Toby. He didn't like it when we called him Toby. He didn't like it. He didn't like it when we called him Toby.
Toby Toblerone.
Toby Toblerone. It's good stuff. All right, let's keep going because I want to go get me fish bowl.
Yeah.
I think it's ready.
Tom, Eddy, Dior, Tobler, Techno Dribbles here. Just posing the question, what is the most inconvenient flat tire you've ever had? Because it's not going to beat the 2021 Australian of the Years. Let me put this into context for you. We're down at a festival in Melbourne, pounding serotonin into the earth, and all of a sudden, the Red Sea parts, for who we assumed was Jesus. Lo and behold, Dylan Alcott, yes, the tennis champion, is in the thick of the mosh. But that's not where this story ends. Whether it was a pebble or a rogue tinny, Alcott's wheelchair was no longer functional. To deal with the flat tire, Alcott's team was in full pit stop mode. Mid-mosh pit, in a sea of dribblers, we managed to replace the broken wheel and carry on shaking our hips. So we posed the question to you, Tom and Eddy. Is this the worst flat tire of all time, or have you had worse? Festivals forever, golden slabs never. Cheers.
Great dribble. Very, it was good energy, succinct. I enjoyed that. I don't know that it would be right of me to say I've had a worse flat tire than a Dylan Alcott wheelchair blowout in a mosh pit. I feel like that's pretty bad.
But it sounds like it was handled professionally.
Oh, it sounds like it was remedied quite quickly.
Would that be a patch job, Tom? Or would that be a wheel replacement?
It's a great question. I feel like a patch job's quite a nuanced thing to do in the mosh pit, whereas a full wheel replacement, I mean, where are you getting the wheel? Sure, but like...
I reckon it might be a patch job. You know when that green stuff you used to put in the bike tyres?
Yeah, sort of.
Do you remember that?
I just remember the patch, to be honest.
Right. Anyway, I'm trying to recall...
But then does he have a pump, like, with him? You know what I mean? Do you patch it up and then pump it up again? Like, do you have to have a pump sort of attachment to your wheelie?
I don't think you'd be able to do it with your mouth.
Well, I think it'd be ridiculous if they were expecting you to. You know what I mean? If they had a mouthpiece on the fucking wheelchair tires, they'd be like, that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Or like a tube that came...
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, dude,
I don't see that.
I don't see him doing
but
that.
Now you make a good point. Has he got a patch? He's got the patch stuff on.
And the pump? Like you
and a pump at the back of the wheelchair,
and
maybe?
Like where on the wheelchair?
Is there like...
Good for him. Just he
gets out there.
He gets out there. Does not let it, doesn't let the disability hold him back at all, which is fucking fantastic. But like he is always at festivals and shit, just ripping and tearing.
Throw him at Coachella.
Yeah. I don't know if I've had a worse. Again, I can't.
Have you ever changed a tyre? That's
No.
probably a different question.
Haven't. Never, ever.
That doesn't shock me at all.
Even I have.
Never changed a tyre.
Have you ever had a flat tyre? And
Yeah.
what did you do? You get the NRMA?
No, I've never had one where it's like, oh shit, we're on the side of the road. I need to change it. I don't think anyway. Maybe no, I haven't.
So you've never had a flat tyre?
I've had a flat tyre, but I don't think it's been in a situation where it's like, I need to change this thing. It's been more one where it's like, I'm just...
What do you mean? If it's flat, it's flat.
Well,
you just drove on a flat.
You drive it to the fucking mechanic and they...
Right. So what you're saying is you've had a flat tyre and you just didn't change it. That's what you're saying. You didn't put the spare on. You just drove it. You just drove it around.
Yeah.
You just drove around on the rim.
No, but see, there's like, because there's flat tyre. There's like, there's flat tyre where it's like,
It's
you
flat.
may as well have slashed the fucking thing and you're driving on rimmies. And then there's, my tyres run out of air here. And if I have the choice to not change it, that's what Daddy's doing.
Can I ask you a different question?
Throw it at me.
Have you ever put air in your tyres?
Yes, I have done that.
You have?
Yes.
You know how to do that?
I do know how to do that. I don't feel comfortable doing it, but I
What do
know
you
how to
set
do it.
the PSI to? What do you just go at 5?
No, I had to do it recently for the car. I think it was at 34.
How'd you come up with that number?
Don't know whether it was just already set there and jammed it in, or whether it was because our tyre, one of our tyres was flat, and like so the car lets you know one of them was flat, and it didn't look flat though. So I was just like, what the fuck's going on here? Sometimes with those computers on cars, they can just wig out and tell you shit's wrong. And so I think I Googled the type of car and like what the tyre pressure should be to make sure that it was all good, and then got them up to that. And then as it turned out, there was a fucking nail in the tyre, and so it was just slowly seeping out. So I get everything back to neutral, 34, whatever's liters of air, and then it would seep out, and then we got the tyre changed.
Good on you, mate.
Yep. So don't know how to change a tyre, but I reckon I could do it if I had to.
You reckon you could do it?
I don't think it's that fucking. It's pretty straightforward to me. It's similar to the jackhammer on the job site situation. Many people, yeah, but like many people less capable than me, and I'm not saying I'm very capable. I'm saying there are plenty of people less capable can do it. So I'm sure I'll be able to work it out. Bit of self-belief never hurt.
Yeah. Or you just fucking drive around on a flat.
Or just drive around. Just drive to a
Drive around on a flat until
drive
you
to
find
your
a
nearest
mechanic.
Bridgestone or a mechanic and just get it sorted. You know what I mean? Save yourself the trouble. Go get a coffee. Wait for it to get done. Not a handyman.
Watching you drive into a Bridgestone with a flat tyre, it must be pretty emasculating.
In fairness, I didn't. Steph did it. I had to come.
Oh my God.
I had to go do a potty.
You
dude.
really are pathetic.
I had to do a potty. What do you mean, man? It's my job. Work comes first.
Oh my God.
Move on quick. Move on quick.
Tom, Eddy, Steel Dave, Tommy Toddler, punters and dribblers. The delivery driver dribbler here. I've just stumbled across a revelation. The year is 2022. It's the year of the tiger in the Chinese calendar. The Chinese built the Great Wall of China to keep the rabbits out, if I'm not mistaken. Tigers beat the bunnies last night. Is that an omen bet? If so, are we about to see a Tigers premiership this year? Let me know any feedback, and beers forever. Dan and Kemp's Big Nose Never. Go to Melbourne Storm. Good on you, D or Dave.
Unnecessary drive-by on Kempy's nose there, but we will allow it.
We will allow it by the skin of your teeth.
Yeah.
Look, if they did build the Great Wall of China to keep out rabbits, which I don't think they did, but they did in that ad.
Yeah,
the Telstra ad,
you've heard of Telstra ad.
Which was, as I was saying, I was remembering it. Look, if you'd called up before the fucking Tigers won
and said that,
I'd be all about it.
Yeah.
But you've called in after the fact.
A hindsight omen is probably the most trash bit of information that anyone.
Well, it's not an omen.
No,
it's not an omen because
it's a fomen.
It's a fomen. Hindsight's fucking great, bruh, when you've got it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, fucking hell, like, I knew that Melbourne Storm was going to put 70 points from the Warriors.
Yeah.
Well, did you know that before the game, dickhead? No. So the point is, omens exist beforehand, not after. You get it?
Does now, Eddie.
I hope he does.
Fomenry.
Fucking fomenry. So you don't get it.
How many more we got?
I think only a couple.
I hate how he never gives us a number. Does that annoy you as well? When he just says like, oh, a couple, could be 6, could be 3,
Can I tell you what annoys me
2.
more, Tom? What annoyed me more is when we used to do every dribble and there used to be, I don't know, 700. And I'd go, Dave, how many more have we got? And he'd say a couple and we'd do 30 more and I'd be about to wring his little neck.
Yeah.
So how many more do we have?
I'll go 2. There's a few more, but some of them are licks, so we don't have to
Let's
get
just
to
do
those.
2 because we already established we won the game.
Yeah.
G'day, legends. It's the French teacher dribbler here. Heard you dribble about the spelling of the word restaurant recently, and I believe the reason you're having an issue spelling it is because it's actually a French word borrowed by the English. Now, this may shock some, but about 30% of the English vocab is originally French, which is close to 10,000 words. Make of that what you will. Tom, your old man's French on the 12th man was absolutely classic. Or his skit about Richie Benno's famous castle, Chateau Vertiflor. Anyway, the reason for my dribble is I wanted to shout out the people of France, particularly today on Anzac Day. I lived over there 10 years ago, and I was lucky enough to visit a tiny French town called Joncourt, which is literally one street with a massive cemetery at the end. My great-uncle was buried there in World War I, and what blew me away was how immaculate the cemetery was after all these years. It was honestly in such good nick. There were actually a couple of old blokes mowing the lawn when we arrived, and when I told them I was an Aussie, they got a bit teary and just couldn't speak highly enough of the Aussies who fought in France back then. One of them even got me an Aussie flag so I could place it in front of my great-uncle's grave, which was incredibly special. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you all because French people are often painted in a different light by us Aussies. Rum and milk soon. Surely get Billy Birmingham on the potty soon. Cheers.
Great dribble.
That was a great dribble.
Great dribble.
Really good dribble. I would like to shout out French people as well. I love French people. You know what I mean? French people are cool with me.
I've got no issue with French people.
I also think they've got the most beautiful language in the world. Like their accent is beautiful and their language sounds beautiful.
It's probably why I borrowed a couple of words.
Yeah,
10,000 apparently.
I don't mind borrowing 10,000 words.
That may explain why it's a mongrel to spell. I also think it in its very nature is a mongrel.
Yeah, I think, it's difficult to spell probably because it is French, but also it's just difficult to spell. It just is. It's not memorable. Like it's hard to remember the collection. I know that there's certain letters that are in it, but I don't know what order they come in. It's jumbled. It's like I have fucking amnesia every time I try and spell that bitch.
Yeah,
but shout out to French people. We will try to get Dad on the potty at some point. We'll get him to talk us through, his running with the golfer. We're waiting for this whole fucking studio to get sorted, and then we'll start cranking up guests again.
Correct, Tom. We will. I'd like to have Billy on. He makes me laugh.
Yep.
Funny old prick.
I think he'd like to come on.
Oh, he'd love it.
I think so. Come see what his little boy's doing. I'll ask him if he's proud of me. Oh, that'll be the first question. Should I do that? Welcome to the Sport Podcast.
You're definitely asking him if he's proud of you.
Yeah. I think I kicked that off. So just quickly before we get into it, are you proud of me? Do you love me?
Do you love me?
Yeah, do you love me?
Do you love me is probably even better.
Yeah. All right, let's kick things off here. Dad, just firstly, do you love me?
And if not, why?
And if not, why? And if so, why? What do you love about me most? All right, let's move on.
Should go a ponytail like you.
G'day boys, Joe here.
If I had a dollar every time someone
but I've
told me that.
recently come into a soda stream. Not a big sparkling water guy until then. I am now constantly on rotation, soda stream after soda stream, bottle after bottle, making sure that I'm topped up, that I'm ready to inject as much gas into a bottle as I can to keep up my uptake. What I really want to know is, obviously, now my life revolves around a soda stream. What is the shittest or smallest thing that you've been obsessed with? Because I'm talking farm level accuracy with bottle to bottle of constant soda water for me. So I just need to feel like I'm not alone. Cheers, boys.
I don't like soda water that much.
I've become a soda water connoisseur over the last couple of years, and we do have a soda stream, and I do like it. But now we use our soda stream more as we're out of soda water. Let's make some soda. Let's use the soda stream, because I don't think it's as good as just your bottled soda water.
So when do you drink soda water?
Sometimes...
Like, do you get home from a run and drink soda water?
No, you drink water, but then sometimes, like, you just need a hit of bubbles to, like, sort of blow your head off and recalibrate everything. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a nice, good burst. I also have it with tequila. Tequila lime sodas, delightful.
No, I'm not talking about putting soda with alcohol.
Well,
I'm talking
I am,
about
because I do a lot of that.
I'm just talking about just soda on its own.
Yeah, sometimes with dinner, you have like a wine with some soda there, just as a bit of a palate cleanser. Steffi loves soda water. We both do. Evie doesn't mind it a little bit in moderation.
You go to a restaurant, do you get sparkling?
Nah, I just get tap water, baby.
You get tap.
Yep. But
I love it when they go, do you want still or sparkling? I go, how's tap sound, bro?
Yeah, because if you get me like a $12 bottle of still, I'm going to glass you with it. And I don't want to have to do that because...
And I know what you're doing here. Like, the amount of people that would have tripped up with that little trick.
Shitloads. Don't ever get still, get tap, because they'll fuck you. Unless you're in a Balinese country, then get bottled water because you'll shit yourself.
Don't ask for the tap in
Don't
Bali.
ask for the tap in Bali.
Some of your finest tap, please, sir.
And a roll of toilet paper. They... Don't drink too much soda water. Be careful about that because there's something about, I think maybe we spoke about this on the podcast or maybe we didn't, but whatever the active agents in it, it breaks down the enamel in your teeth and makes them very breakable. So if you fucking hammer it, your teeth, it fucks your teeth. So proceed with caution and only use it responsibly.
In terms of things that like I like using, is that what he said? What
yeah,
do I
like small thing your life revolves around.
That you're obsessed with. I bought a vegan vape over the weekend, which was pretty impressive. It's like a little golden gun in a case. Got a new coffee machine, just does pods, so it's not like it's fucking crazy. I'm not a barista, but I like it. Other than that, Eddie, what do you got?
I don't think I've got anything really. Is that boring?
Well, I mean, it's not interesting.
No, I know. I understand that it's not interesting.
But is it boring?
But is it boring?
That's
There's
what
a
you're
difference.
Yeah, there is. You can be not interesting, but you don't necessarily mean that you're boring.
Yes.
I'd say that it's a little boring.
It is a little boring. I'm sitting here trying to think.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a sign that the podcast is over.
That's what I'd say. I think what would be boring is us sitting here and you thinking about little things that you're into, you know? That might be tough. But I'll say this, punters, dribblers, that's it. That's it for this week. What we do have for you, keep your eyes peeled. Thursday, we have a stock clearance. So we've got the remaining bounced out trackies, the remaining last dribble T-shirts, and the remaining Manly 13 plus jumpers.
Well, the ones that have been.
That's, you know what I mean. We got some more. That's all going on. We've got hoodies and hats coming in a couple of weeks, but this is the last. There's not a shitload of this stuff, so it will go. This is just a clearance sale, so you'll see that this Thursday. You don't want to miss out if you have missed out in the past. Last dribble T-shirts, they are a collector's item already. And
everything we're getting rid of is a collector's item.
Yeah, because it's not coming back. The bounced out trackies are fuck. You're wearing the bounced out tracky pants right now, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, and they're fucking good, bro.
Yeah. Very few, very limited.
If I'm just running an eye over there, this drop's going to be limited.
Very limited.
It's going to be very limited.
And there's no 502 gateways this week.
Well, that's what Shopify told us.
That's what Shopify told us.
Shopify, you're on notice. If you fuckers fuck us.
They said it's never happened.
They said it's never happened. They've never seen it.
Whereas we've had 502s like every time we've done a drop because there's so many of you. That's what we like to believe anyway, not that it's the hosting. And so,
but look, what I'd say is this, is that if you want to get some bounced out trackies, which is probably, the best decision you'll ever make, and we tell you that it's gonna go at 6 p.m. for argument's sake, and you think that you've got time to go and snap one off and come back at 6:10,
make a cup of tea.
I think you're going to be disappointed.
You're going to come back. You'll have empty bowels, but you'll also have an empty heart.
And an empty soul.
Yep.
Now, what's the point of having an empty bowel if you've got an empty soul? You know what I mean?
That's a great point you make.
Right, I see you later.
Bye-bye.
Could you two just not talk anymore?